Series Monday afternoon. They're still alive, though. They face Pennsylvania today at 3 o'clock. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Bear.
Crash westbound 70 coming into downtown right before rural. And 2 left lanes are blocked. Traffic is awful. We are stopped back to Emerson Avenue. On the southeast side, northbound 465, that's a hit of south. Shadeland blocking the right shoulder with dump truck in there. A pickup truck. Traffic slow. Back to Arlington. And again in those eastbound lanes on the south side from 31 over to I-65. Now a crash southbound 69 between 116th Street and 106th. That's blocking the left lane. After that, traffic stop and go down to 82nd Street because of police activity on the right shoulder. Traffic sponsored by Fresh Tide Market. This week at Fresh Tide Market, save on jumbo 16-20 count easy peel raw shrimp, just $4.99 a pound with digital coupon now through August 23rd. Get real. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Kindergarten? It's closer than you think. Will your child be ready? Let us help with On My Way Pre-K. Your child may qualify for high-quality pre-K right here close to home. And it could be free. Indiana's On My Way Pre-K program is the best way to ensure your 4-year-old is ready for kindergarten. Get information and eligibility requirements at onmywayprekk.org. When you want what's best for your child, you want On My Way Pre-K.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 3.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 3.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Some patchy areas of fog this morning, otherwise sunny skies, nice temperatures today, a high of 83. Clear, quiet, and comfortably cool overnight, a low of 61. I'm Wish TV storm tracking meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
66 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 23rd. Things that are trending this hour. Dan Rather. He tweeted out a congratulations to Dr. Fauci, and about half of the replies were nasty. He said, Dr. Fauci, thank you for your service. Please ignore the haters. Also trending.
He's still alive?
Which one?
Dan Rather, I guess maybe I knew he was still alive, but look, why is he even a thing?
Alive and tweeting and now trending. So they're both very much with us still. Also trending, McDonald's and the Big Mac. They're finally bringing a new twist to the classic. Guess what it is? It's going to be a chicken sandwich now. And finally trending, Jared Kushner's, what is this? It's a book. It's a very lengthy book.
Yes.
It's called Breaking History.
Yes.
And it's being called a soulless and very selective memoir. That's the first review.
Okay, so this guy was on. So Jared Kushner is Donald Trump's loser son-in-law. And he's married. What a crime that he married Ivanka Trump. Because he married Ivanka Trump, like in her prime Ivanka Trump. Mm-hmm. And for that alone, the guy should be thrown into get mode. That of all the men in the world, she married that guy. Mm-hmm. But my question to you is this, because I was watching him on Fox News, and I asked Kevin this, and I asked Allison this as well, because they were all in the studio. What is the dollar amount that I would have to pay you to force you to subject yourself to 500 pages of that guy's bullcrap?
Yeah, it's a long book, 500 pages. You would not have to pay me much. And I will tell you why. He talks about prison reform, their COVID response, the Middle East, and the Abraham Accords. Now, I think it would be fascinating to read his insight into what was going on in the Trump administration during the first stages of COVID.
Okay, Kevin, for us normal people, what is the dollar amount I would have to pay you? Because it's 500 pages. So let's say you got through 50 pages a day, which is pretty good. That's a pretty substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
So it would take you 10 days at 50 pages a day. If I came to you and said, here is $200 cash, would you be willing to read that book for $200 cash in 10 days?
I think I would have to bump it up to $300.
Yeah.
I'd probably be happy with that.
I mean, that is, and I even think that's probably low. I'm not
Are
sure.
you throwing in the book? Are you going to purchase the book too?
Yeah, I go to the local library. No, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to give him any of my money.
The thing is, we know you're not going to give us any money no matter what. So this is all hypothetical.
I was thinking, okay, I'm not sure even for $500 if I would subject myself, and you know how much I love money, that for $500 I would subject myself to having to endure 50 pages of that guy for 10 consecutive days.
It's called a slog. And it goes deeply into the weeds. So that makes you think it's a slow read. However, he does have a ghostwriter.
Oh.
And he also credits a speechwriter in the acknowledgments of the book. So if he didn't write it, it's got to be a little bit entertaining.
By the way, my other favorite thing, so he's on Fox and Friends this morning. And I love watching when Fox and Friends will have a guest on of some sort. You can always tell how interesting the person is based on how enthralled the woman who sits in the middle of the two men is.
You're talking about watching with the volume down just to see the body language.
Right. And so usually if it's an actor or whatever, the woman will have the twinkle in her eye.
She'll lean forward into the conversation.
Very enthralled. This woman looked like she was a victim of a hostage crisis that had to be there and subject herself to Jared Kushner for whatever it was, 5-10 minutes, whatever.
By the way, the book is selling $21.12 at Target or $39.99 on eBay.
How much? What is it?
$21 or $39.99. It varies.
If you are a person who is willing, it doesn't matter. 21, 39, 25. If you're a person that is willing to pay any amount of money whatsoever for this, I mean, I guess if you checked it out at your local library, you're supporting your local public library, and it's free to you to remove as long as you bring it back in a timely manner. So I guess there's a world where I could understand that. If you're a person that is willing to pay any amount of money for the Jared Kushner book, please let us know either in the YouTube chat, Rob at WIBC.com, Casey at WIBC.com, or at Rob M. Kendall at Casey Daniels 317 on Twitter. Explain yourself. Why do you value your money so little?
We want to know what's wrong with you. The book is called Breaking History, by the way. It's 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. And shall we redefine loans? That's the newest thing we're going to redefine. Experts believe that the Biden administration could announce a decision on whether to extend the 2-year-long pause on federal student loan debt this week. Now, the deadline is August 31st, but Biden may come out before that and just erase it all. Many people are hoping that the Education Department will extend that break and announce up to $10,000 in loan forgiveness.
Okay, so there's only bad or worse options here because we're the truth tellers. There's no way 2 months ahead of an election, Joe Biden goes, okay, start paying your loans that you've been grifting off the taxpayers for 2.5 years on. There's no way he does that. So the only option is that the best option is that he pauses it again. The worst option is that he tries to forgive the loan. Now, if he tries to forgive the loans, it will end up in court and he will probably lose like he's lost most other things because it is not a grant. It is a loan, and a loan is paid back, and almost every legal scholar has been very clear on this. But what was interesting about this is that 59% of Americans, according to CNBC, I guess online poll done by Momentive, says that 59% of Americans are concerned that student loan forgiveness will make inflation worse. No crap. You don't say.
They've been listening to you. That's one of your 3 legs of inflation, isn't it?
Well, and
spending.
And this is where we have now, we talked about yesterday. We might as well just call America a socialist country. Well, we are a socialist country. We have some tenets of capitalism that remain, but by and large, we are a socialist country. And you don't get any more socialist than saying you took out a loan, you as an adult made an adult decision, you have reaped some sort of benefit of that choice, and then for political purposes, the government says someone else will pay for this. And someone else in this case isn't even anyone who's going to have a vote on it. At least you and I have a vote on whatever sort of losers are going to let us down in the present. We have some sort of say in it. What we're talking about here is that future generations will be the ones responsible for paying off this debt. We will pay for it in the current in terms of inflation and things costing more. But a group of people who will have no say in this process are the ones that are going to be forced to pay the tab on this. This is why I want to puke, whether it's the Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young, or Joe Biden, or Chuck Schumer, or Bernie Sanders, or whoever, continue to rack up debt. Other people who don't have a say in this process are the ones who are going to pay it, and that is gross to force other people to cover so that you can participate in legalized vote buying schemes.
Are you saying that you're not looking forward to paying Oliver and Sophia's art history degree? It's free to them.
Well, and the part of this, of course,
not free for you.
Well, and when we're talking about paying back loans, if you got a traditional private loan, which many people do to fund, like, let's say you went to your favorite local bank and said, I'd like to go to college. Okay, here's your loan, here's your interest rate, and different banks have various ways they do that. That is not exempted here. We're talking about specific loans that are backed up by the federal taxpayer. So again, we're picking winners and losers based on the luck of the draw of how you got your loan. I am so sick of this, Casey. And I think, but it never happens, I think, okay, today is the day where the American people wake up and say, we've had enough of this bull crap. We are no longer going to tolerate this. And this is the end of this. And yet it keeps on happening, and we keep electing people who allow it to keep on happening.
Well, during his tenure, Biden and the Department of Education have approved nearly $32 billion in loan relief so far. And Rob, I'm excited. I can't wait for them to put $20,000 back into the 529 savings account, and then I can just withdraw that money without penalty and use it for whatever I want. I mean,
that's not how that's working, Casey.
Oh, that's not what we're doing?
No, that's not what they're talking about here.
Oh, because, I've already paid for some of daughter's education. I figured they're just going to give everybody all their money back, right?
Nope. You're screwed. Guys like me who took 6 years to get through school because we paid cash for it because we were doing fiscally responsible thing and worked and saved our money. We're screwed. No, only if you took out a large student loan and expected. So here's the great, I don't know, we're going to get to a break, but here's as a taxpayer, you're getting double screwed. Because as a taxpayer, you and I fronted that loan to begin with. So it was printed money, which was inflation, is inflation, has been inflation. We assumed the debt, so we got screwed on that. And now we're going to get screwed again because it's not going to get paid back. Why is this okay? Someone explain this to me, why this is okay. Why should I get screwed? Why should Casey get screwed? Because we did things the right way. When someone can provide a reasonable explanation why we are forced to pay and they are not, then I'll be more open on this topic, but no one has provided that yet.
No, and they're not going to. Coming up, we're going to redefine more words like recession and also vacation. That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
As events unfold,
we will not be deterred from operating in the seas and the skies of the Western Pacific.
And the big news happens faster.
This election is crucial.
And faster.
Monkeypox is a problem.
Buckle up and hang on.
All during a recession.
Keeping you updated at the top and bottom of the hour. And when it breaks,
we're following breaking news.
Keeping you in the know and in the now.
We're going to come back better than before.
93 WIBC.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 38,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
It's a grand slam of savings at Masters Heating and Cooling. Save $500 on a complete Carrier heating and air conditioning system, plus 10-year parts and labor warranty with special financing and zero money down with approved credit. Turn to the experts for utility and energy savings up to $1,490. It's a total incentive package of nearly $3,200. Upgrade with Masters Heating and Cooling today. Details online at mastersheatcool.com.
Masters. Don't miss the Colts kickoff concert at Lucas Oil Stadium on September 9th from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a one-of-a-kind celebration of football and music with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Experience the world's greatest guitar collection, presidential artifacts, sports memorabilia from Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and much more. And for the first time ever, Colts fans will get to see up close historic Colts memorabilia from Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and more. The evening will be topped off with a free concert by the all-star Jim Irsay Band, featuring special guests Ann Wilson of Heart and the legendary Buddy Guy.
I'm right, I got the blues.
That's one night only with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Friday, September 9th, 7 to 10 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium. Get your free ticket at JimIrsayCollection.com.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
Man, I slept.
New ZzzQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $14 billion were stolen last year. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
The 9th Annual Indy Labor Fest is September 3rd on Monument Circle, an admission-free street festival with a chance to learn about career opportunities, hosted by the labor unions of Central Indiana.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show.
Good morning, Vietnam.
93 WIBC.
So let's talk about some more redefined words, like recession. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Rob's over there with his fist in the air. I know you love that song. Hey, thanks for listening this morning, and thanks for joining on YouTube. If you'd like to watch what goes on, just type in Kendall and Casey, WIBC, into the YouTube search bar, and you can follow along. And we encourage your participation in the chat room as well. So 72% of economists polled by the National Association of Business Economics expect the next U.S. recession will begin by the middle of next year.
Oh!
If it hasn't already started.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Mm-hmm. So the Fed argued during a press conference that there is still a path to getting inflation under control without sparking a downturn. Well, let's get on it then. How about that?
What is that thing?
What is that path?
What is that path? How do we do that? Because it would be very helpful if we would...
Can we just do that?
Just do the thing.
Yeah. Kind of feels like we're already in a downturn. I mean, have you been to the grocery store lately?
I go less and less these days. I think I told you my new thing is to try to eat everything in my pantry, no matter how, as long as it is not expired. I will try to find something to make it, to eat.
Yeah, pantry dinner. Just see what ingredients you have in there, throw it together, see what you come up with.
The way I figure is I've already bought the stuff. I've already paid for the stuff. And so as such, it is, while not free, that dinner does not in the moment cost me money. I've already paid for this stuff, and where else would I use it? So I'll just suffer so that I don't have to go to the grocery store.
So the stock market's going to continue to struggle, right? It's going to wobble up and down. But when we're talking about a recession, the one thing we really need to pay attention to, job losses.
Yeah.
And job losses will come, and they are coming. So we have to pay close attention to hiring and right-sizing trends. And we've been seeing a lot of different organizations are starting to right-size, downsize, whatever you want to call it. Ford just announced yesterday they're letting go of 3,000 people. And that is so that they can make adjustments for EV vehicles.
Oh, are you saying that government manipulating the economy and a bunch of people who have no idea and couldn't run a Wendy's if their life depended on it, making decisions for 330 million people, doesn't always work out and has unintended consequences?
Possibly.
Is that what you're saying, Casey?
Possibly.
Are you saying Bernie Sanders might not have been the best person to pick to make major changes to the economy since he lived in his parents' basement until he was 40 years oold and has never had a real job? Is that what you're saying?
Is that why John Fetterman likes Bernie Sanders so much? They have the same upbringing?
Here's the thing. When you have rapid changes to the economy or a sector, that is not good. Like I'm saying in terms of even positives, economies are like dinosaurs, right? Like they move slowly and they move forcefully, but they are not meant to sprint. They are not, they are not meant to be uber flexible. A good economy or a good industry goes up gradually, consistently over time. And so you've seen in this economy where different industries, because of the shutdowns, because of the bribery, because of all the other things that have taken place, they will sprint and then they will stop. They will sprint and they stop. They will, and then inevitably there is a backpedal because economies and industries are not meant to sprint and stop. They're meant to move consistently and gradually over time.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the Fed can figure out what that path is to getting inflation under control.
It will not.
We would champion that. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And coming up next, we're going to talk about our favorite bobblehead and the walnut who just loves going on vacations. That's on deck from 93 WIBC.
Do you need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help. While others are talking about rising interest rates, we are lowering ours.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 3.75% fixed?
Don't get stuck paying the minimum payments on credit cards. The average homeowner has over $60,000 in equity. You deserve to put that cash to work for you.
Our average cash-out customer saves $904 a month. Call 317-706-GOLD for your free mortgage checkup.
Inflation shouldn't win. Our low mortgage rates and your equity make you the winner. And remember, if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Call 317-706-GOLD. Lock in your 3.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
So it's trash day, and as I was taking the cans out, I was admiring my garage floor. If you'd like to make taking the trash out such a better experience, call Galaxy Concrete Coatings, and they can totally transform your garage floor. Their number is 317-751-9070. That's 317-751-9070. You can also find them online at Galaxy Concrete Coatings because they're taking concrete out of this world.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Visit the Marion Municipal Airport for high fly and fun at the Fly-In Cruise End September 3rd. Discover antique aircraft, vintage cars, trucks, motorcycles, and autocycles. Take flight in historic aircraft and fill up at the all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
This is Ryan Newman for Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I love my family, and I appreciate every moment we spend together. We've talked about some pretty tough stuff over the years, and one thing they know for sure is that I've signed up to be an organ donor. So the next time you're with your family, take a moment and let them know you love them, and be sure they know your decision to be an organ donor. You can learn more at donatelifeindiana.org.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Demanding they be given back. Sunny and 68 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Former President Donald Trump doesn't trust the DOJ, so he wants an independent person to review the documents taken from his home and then returned.
Former President Trump filing a motion seeking an independent review by special master of materials that were actually seized during that FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago, which reportedly totaled more than 300 classified documents. The Trump camp is saying, we are demanding that the DOJ be forced to turn over a real, without plans, inventory of my property. We demand that all items wrongfully taken from my home be immediately returned.
Fox's Kevin Cork. The primary election focuses on Florida and New York today. The governor's race in Florida has Democratic Congressman Charlie Crist and State Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried running for the nomination to challenge Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. And in New York City, Democratic Representatives Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney battled it out in their House primary brought on by redistricting. And now the stock report. Yesterday was the worst day for the major equity averages since June. It's not any better today. The Dow was down 37 to 33,019. The Nasdaq down 21 to 12,887. And the S&P 500 down 6 to 4,135. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, quality, and unmatched value. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. DiamondsDirect.com.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. Business electronics recycling. Visit tech-recyclers.com. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Dr. Fauci announced Monday that he would step down from his government position in December. So the bobblehead is currently the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and also the chief medical advisor to President Biden. He said, I will be leaving these positions in December of this year to pursue the next chapter of my career. No, dude. Retire. Next career stop in front of Congress. But oh my gosh, this hit me last night.
Oh?
And I'm afraid to say it out loud.
No, go for it. No one's listening but us.
Is this the beginning of Fauci 2024?
Oh, that's very interesting.
Ew.
Well, he would be in the right age bracket because he'd be in his mid-80s by the time the election rolls around. So he would be the perfect age.
He's got name recognition.
So I did a little math yesterday, and again, I'm but a product of the public school system, and I saw this data, and so there have now been over 1 million people, almost 1.1 million people who have passed away from with COVID. Probably not actually from COVID, but with COVID, because we know many people, it's like, person got ran over by a bus.
Right.
Also had COVID.
Right.
But we'll take the government at their word, because why would the government ever lie or manipulate data? So 1.1 million people have died with COVID, from COVID, however you want to say it. 700,000 have now passed away from AIDS and HIV. So between the two of those, the two defining medical issues of Fauci's time in the 993 years he has been sucking a government paycheck, 1.8 million people have died. He was 40 years apart, wrong, brutally wrong, not once but twice, was a colossal failure in terms of results, not once but twice. He made many of the same mistakes in the early 1980s that he did in 2020. Why is this guy at all celebrated, revered, well thought of? Why is he anything other than a national disgrace? Because that he has been a colossal failure time and again, decades apart, making the same mistakes, learning absolutely nothing. And yet he is, put up on television. He is in magazines. He has books written about him. He is a celebrity, which is what he always wanted to be. And it really sucks when karma doesn't catch up with someone. And as old as this guy is, it appears karma's never going to get him. And that is really hard to live with.
He's also the highest paid employee in the federal government.
Yes.
He was paid $434,000 in 2020. The year that he stood up in front of everybody with the Surgeon General at his side
wait. Failed former Surgeon General Jerome Adams. Go ahead, continue.
Yes.
Hi, Jerome.
He said, masks do not work, and then proceeded to be the leader of fanaticism, requiring people to wear masks in all settings and all places. So he essentially said, we lied to you.
Yes.
But I'm going to sit here and collect my nearly $500,000 paycheck.
Well, he's from the government, and he's here to help. And again, it comes back to whether it is Fauci or whether it is failed former Surgeon General Jerome Adams, who, especially since leaving office, has shown himself to be a complete and utter lunatic and maniac. These people never get punished. We are a society that's built on good behavior should be rewarded, bad behavior should be punished. And somewhere along the way, we got these reversed, because there's so many good people who do things the right way every single day, who struggle to get ahead. And these clowns who lie and manipulate and use their positions to better themselves at the expense of everyone else, they keep getting rewarded. Jerome Adams, cushy job at Purdue. He's on television. He's a sought-after person. He's an idiot. I knew Jerome Adams before he was the state health commissioner, before Dr. Box, gynecologist, was our health. I knew him even before that. I wouldn't have wanted him. Nah, I'm not going to say. I'm going to let it go. The point is, you have people who are brutally unqualified, who have shown themselves to be colossal failures in their field, who keep getting rewarded, and that's not the way society should work.
Rand Paul keeps vowing to investigate Fauci if Republicans take the Senate majority. That is maybe the one reason to hope that Republicans will take the Senate.
It's not much, but it's something.
It's something to hope for. Let's talk about Newt Gingrich. He dismissed Liz Cheney's claim that a large portion of Republicans are, quote, sick for supporting President Trump. This was on Fox and Friends. He said he doesn't take Cheney's comments seriously after she was humiliated in her race. And she thinks she is the moral judge of millions and millions of Americans.
Let's take a listen to this.
I've known Liz for most of her life, at least since she was an adult, and I'm amazed. There's a deep policy difference, there's no question. Trump ran in many ways as a repudiation of the Bush-Cheney administration. But to go back home to the people that you claim to represent, to only get 29% support, and then decide that the other 61, they're the ones who are wrong. They're the ones who are sick. I think that Liz has arrogated to herself a standard of being the moral judge of millions and millions of Americans. There aren't 73 or 75 million Americans who voted for Trump because they're sick. They voted for Trump because they deeply dislike the establishment. And no matter what you tell them about Trump, they dislike the establishment even more. And so it's amazing to me that nobody who's in the anti-Trump faction has stopped to say, what is it we're doing that repels so many Americans? That, again, Wyoming's a great example. The Cheney name was a one-time magic. Now it doesn't just get beat, it gets humiliated. I mean, 29% is a sign that, take away the Democrats who switch parties to vote for her, she got probably 1 out of every 4 Republicans. It's amazing. So I don't take what she says very seriously.
He went on to say that her political future doesn't look bright.
Well, and Liz Cheney is a phenomenal example. You know, we've talked about what an entitled elitist, you know, the Cheney family is, and how they believe by, you know, birthright that they can do whatever they want. And it is interesting, though, the lesson that you can learn from this is very few positive decisions get made in anger or in rage. And Liz Cheney is the boiling rabbit on the stove, I will not be ignored, Dan, at this point. You know, she is absolutely blinded by rage. She's become an absolute maniac. And everything she's doing now is not about there's no way you can spin it. There's no way you can sell it. It's not about her constituents. It's not about bettering the people's lives of Wyoming. She lives... You know, she is, I will not be ignored, Dan. Mm-hmm. She lives to try to harm Donald Trump. She is a scorned lover at this point, and thus why her political career is now over. And it doesn't matter how many, you know, prime time, mainstream national media cable shows she does, or, you know, what committee she's on in the 3 months she's got left in Congress. She's done. She's done forever. The Democrats don't want her. The Democrats hate the Cheneys and always have hated the Cheneys. She has totally alienated the Republicans. She's done. She might get a book deal out of it. She might get a payday out of it. But in terms of ever holding any significant sway over society ever again, she's done.
It's interesting. You went with the scorned lover. I had down that she's like the bitter employee who gave 2 weeks notice and is going to try and affect all the good apples before she leaves, you know, on her way out.
Yeah.
Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and we found one thing that President Walnut is good at.
Oh!
And that's taking vacations. Mm-hmm. He's wrapping up another 2-week vacation at his beach house in Delaware. Yeah, he's gone on more vacations than any of his immediate predecessors.
Yes.
At the same point in their terms.
Well, and so this was interesting. So he has now gone on more vacations than Trump and Obama.
And W.
And George W. Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And here is my question, Casey, and we need an extended time for our next segment because, well, I'm going to read some love letters I've been getting from Jim Lucas.
Okay.
That, speaking of psychos and maniacs, it is amazing to me that in this job here that I have, and look, I know that as we're about to talk about, people sit and seethe and obsess over me, and I get it. But I don't have any power over anyone, right? I don't have any control over anyone. You don't have any control over anyone. We take far less vacation than the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a big part of me that says you signed up for the job. You wanted to be the most powerful person in the world. You probably shouldn't get a lot of vacation when you get the nuke codes. Probably just kind of a trade-off, right? We're going to give you these nuke codes, and in exchange, you don't really get vacation.
You got to suck it up for 4 years.
Right.
Right.
And if you don't want that, then you don't get the nuke codes.
And then don't run. So he's spending nearly all of August on vacation. And this is while you are forced to cancel your summer travel because of inflation and high gas prices and recession. But yet he's out gallivanting, walking the beach, riding a bike, doing all the fantastic things that Joe Biden gets to do.
Hey, Casey, when we come back, yes, this is going to be very exciting.
I know. We're going to have some dramatic reads, aren't we?
Our old pal.
You can't let it go.
Well, and I'm struggling to come up with a nickname for this guy. I've thrown a couple around, and I just haven't found one.
I thought we settled on Dexter.
Well, I've done much worse than Dexter, too. Our old buddy Jim Lucas came totally unglued yesterday when we had the audacity, in an act of transparency, to have his opponent on the air to talk about Jim's repeated insensitive and then deleting of insensitive social media posts. And we're going to have a little dramatic reading of the back and forth I had with Jim because I know he's listening right now. And I told him I was going to do this. So buckle up.
Okay. That's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. More fallout from Hamilton Southeastern, the police vote on no confidence, and the biggest stories of the day, 93 WIBC.
There's only one company that meets the gold standard in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy. Hey, it's Rob, and I'm here with Darren Andrews. Darren, people are coming from all over the world to We Grow Hair Indy to grow their hair back.
Hey Rob, it's great to be here. Yes, they are. And Rob, as you well know, we are very proud of the technology and the results of We Grow Hair Indy. We Grow Hair Indy is one of only 2 places in the entire US that offers both the Artist Robotic FUE and our trademark procedure, multi-unit hair grafting.
We Grow Hair Indy filled in my crown area and restored the hair on the top of my head. Call 888-724-5129 for a free evaluation. That's 888-724-5129 and grow your hair back. The one company that has the best technology and results. WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard in hair restoration.
Hammer and Nigel here for friends at Window Nation. Back to school time is here, and Window Nation can help you get an A+ in savings right now. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy and pay nothing until 2025. As the temperatures soar, so do your energy bills with old, inefficient windows. Stay cool, lower those bills, and raise the value of your home with new Energy Star efficient windows.
Window Nation has expertly installed over 1 million windows, rewarding and increasing value in over 150,000 homes, all with over 96% needing no follow-up service. That is an A+. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. Buy 4, get 4 for free. There's no limit. Plus, make no down payment, no payments, no interest until 2025. You'll save big during Window Nation's back-to-school sale. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
He's picking thematic music this morning. Nice job, Kevin. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. It's time for some therapy. Now, I'm going to go on the record here.
Yeah.
I have never met Jim Lucas.
No, you're very fortunate. Your life is much better off.
So I don't know what this is all about,
Yes.
but you guys have a thing.
Well, we've been honest about what the thing is. So Jim Lucas is a state rep in the Seymour area. And Jim is Johnny Tough Guy, excuse me, on social media, where he will lament everything that's going on in our state, in our society, and act as though he has no control over it. Like, he'll lament government spending, but yet he voted for the 37.5 record-breaking biennial budget with the record taxes. He'll lament taxation in government's role in people's lives. Yet he votes for the record government in people's lives and the record taxation. He's been on this radio station time and again defending the record gas tax. It is complete and utter hypocrisy. And you're not, if I'm going to be subjected to you in the ether in which we both live, of you spouting ridiculous bullcrap and lying to people as an elected person, I'm not going to let you get away with that. Here's the difference, Casey. Look, people can opt out of me. You have to you do not have to consume me. You have to make a choice to consume me, you, Kevin. We have no control over anyone. We exist and we are consumed because we are entertaining and we educate, and people like that. The lawmakers, and I've long said this, if Eric Holcomb left tomorrow, if Todd Young left tomorrow, if Jim Lucas left tomorrow, I would never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 never care what any of those people have to say ever. The difference is, unfortunately, I have to care because they make choices and decisions that affect my existence. I cannot opt out of my government. Those people can opt out of me. Yet apparently, as we're about to show you, they don't. And remember old Igor, Todd Young's assistant, said they hate listen every day. So that is the difference here. If I could not be controlled by you, I would not care what you do, where you go, who you associate with, what your views are. So Jim Lucas made the another very insensitive post on social media, which is totally beneath an elected official. As he's done numerous times, he posted the Joseph Goebbels Nazi quote. Not only made it a post, he made it his profile photo. And apparently was so ashamed of it that he deleted the post. And again, and we talked about this earlier, I would have way more respect for this guy, Jim Lucas, if he owned it and said, yeah, I put it up there. I don't care. I mean it. But he has a track record of posting these ridiculous things that are ridiculous for a lawmaker, that he knows is ridiculous for a lawmaker. And then when it's Indy Star or Wish TV or whoever calls him out on it, he either cowers and deletes the post, or he deletes his account, which he's done before. So he's Johnny Tough Guy until the media calls him out. Then he cowers in a corner. Then in a couple months when everybody forgets about it, he's back being Johnny Tough Guy again. It's the same disingenuous, ridiculous behavior of him. Someone must do something about this out-of-control government. Well, a-hole, why don't you do something about it because you're in the government? Well, there you go again, Rob, being ridiculous. So we had his opponent on yesterday. It was clearly a statewide news story of what Jim Lucas had done on social media. And we, in an act of transparency and accountability, had the audacity, Casey, to have his opponent on the air. Because I know in the state of Indiana, Republicans believe that they have an absolute monopoly and are entitled to every single vote. And any person who would dare act as though a Democrat exists is a horrific, awful, terrible person. Well, because why? Because, well, pumping our chest, we're the Republican Party. Who are you to challenge us? So, Casey, in the middle of this interview, and I didn't even think this was real. I thought this had to be a prank account. Someone was spoofing his account. He starts texting me in the middle of us having the audacity to have this guy, Chad Harmon, on the show to ask Chad about this statewide news story, of which Chad is obviously now a part of because he's the
running
opponent against Jim Lucas.
Yeah.
And so I thought, if you're going to behave like a psycho, which this guy does time and time and time again, I'm going to read it for everyone on the radio, for everyone between Ohio and Illinois at all points in between to read. So I'm going to read you his text to me while we're on the air having the audacity in an act of transparency to interview a Democrat.
Yeah.
And then I'll read you my responses back to him.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Ready? So he sent me a photo of Chad Harmon in some social media profile, which is also very stalkery and weird. Here's the middle of the road guy you interviewed. I appreciate your obsession. It's bringing me even more votes because people are taking a stand and they see through your intellectually dishonest BS. So thank you for that.
Oh.
What intellectually dishonest BS have we put out here? You made the post. You clearly were embarrassed by the post because you deleted the post. And we had your opponent on who's running for public office to comment on the statewide media story that you are the central figure of.
Right.
So I wrote him back. Are you ready? In
enjoy tomorrow's show. Don't wimp out and delete your account again. Psycho. Then we had a little back and forth, and I know we got to get to a break. So should I get to the end of it? He responded to me. I responded back to him. Do you want me to get to his final response to me?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Kevin's doing his best. I had him keep switching up the music. All right, so we need some hate mail here, Kevin. Nope. We need hate mail. It's Jim. Come on, Kevin. There we go. You should get help. You're making yourself look like a fool by spending so much time on one of 100 state reps that's not even close to your district and who isn't even close to your district. But hey, you do you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Jim, so here's the deal. Every time you correspond with me, I'm going to let the public know about it going forward.
I really liked your response to him.
Well, Jim will take my money. This is the thing. You're not in my district. You're not even close to my district. But yet, Casey, he's taking my money. Jim Lucas makes almost $70,000 a year. Who pays that, Casey? Is it a magic money tree?
Taxpayers.
Taxpayers. Yeah. I pay it. So here's the deal, Jim. Every time you correspond with me going forward, I'm going to put it in the public ether. I'm going to let people know what a lunatic and a maniac you are. And if you stop taking money, my money, I will never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 never mention you ever again.
It's a matter of self-control. Some people should not have a platform, as they never did before social media. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning. Thanks for listening.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com. We won't leave you waiting. Sing it with me.
Always on time or you don't pay time. Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Terry Stacy, along with my husband David, for Exercise Inc., the 20-minute once-a-week workout. It changed my life, and now my husband David is in the best shape of his life thanks to Exercise Inc. He eats better, he has more energy, he's never been stronger, and he's really super excited about golf season because he says Exercise Inc. has changed his game.
It's true, and I've told you before, and I've got scorecards to prove it. Since I've gained strength, my overall game is much better. But the biggest difference is I walk, I don't drive.
But wait a second. I see you leaving the car. You're not walking all the way to the golf course.
No, of course not. I don't walk 25 miles to the golf course. I walk the course. I don't ride in a golf cart. Although in a few more sessions with Coach Kyle at Exercise Inc., I may be walking to the golf course.
Okay, well, Exercise Inc. See lasting results with a 20-minute once-a-week workout that will change your life, too. Get stronger, lose weight, get healthier this summer. 4 locations. Visit exerciseinc.com.
You've undoubtedly heard of the calm before the storm. Well, Michaelis is the calm after the storm. More than 3 decades of restoring damage from wind, rain, and hail. They've got your back, not to mention your front, side, and roof. It's why home and business owners beat a path to Michaelis' door, because it's always answered around the clock with welcome arms. Your port in the storm. From site security and tarping services to complete restoration work, they can handle anything Mother Nature throws your way. Seasoned and trustworthy pros who are never deterred by a little wind and rain, or a mother load of it for that matter. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
College football is back. It's time to enjoy the tradition, the fun, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. To celebrate the best time of the year, new customers can bet just $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets instantly, win or lose. You can also place a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Just combine multiple bets into one, like which team will get the win, which team to score first, and more. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WIBC. Bet just $5 on college football and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's code WIBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Indiana only. One per new customer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as 8 $25 free bets. Restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Indy cops don't have much faith in prosecutors in Marion County. Plus, investigators have put together what they believe played a role in the crash that killed 3 ISU students. And Chris Davis reports on a scam that you should be looking out for on Facebook. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Trump takes on the FBI. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Former President Trump is suing the federal government over the seizure of documents from his home in Florida. He's asking for a neutral special master to go through the material to determine what should be returned to him and for the FBI to stop going through it until that happens. Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner on Fox and Friends.
Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of faith in the fairness of the judicial system.
A federal judge signed off on the Mar-a-Lago search warrant and has given the Justice Department until Thursday to suggest redactions to the affidavit used to support the warrant request before it's released to the public. It's primary day in Florida and New York. Florida Democrats are choosing a candidate for governor.
Charlie Crist, former governor, he's running against the Ag Commissioner, Nikki Fried, who is currently Florida's only statewide elected Democrat. Now, the winner will take on Republican Governor Ron DeSantis come November.
Fox's Kevin Cork. New York House Democrat Sean Patrick Maloney faces a primary challenge from the more liberal state senator Alessandra Biaggi. Democrats Carolyn Maloney and Jerry Nadler face each other because of redistricting. There are also primary runoff elections today in Oklahoma. The Pentagon is again saying no to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's request for help with migrants coming into the city.
Bowser was turned down by the Pentagon earlier this summer when she asked for 150 National Guard troops to help with migrants being bussed in from Texas and Arizona. The mayor saying then she believed it was because she didn't say how long the Guard may be needed. The second time, she made a more specific request, and this time the Pentagon said it still can't help because the Guard doesn't have the proper training or experience. Migrants have been coming to Washington for months as border state governors hope federal lawmakers will take action to cut the number of migrants crossing in from Mexico. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
The State Department's urging Americans to leave Ukraine over a threat of Russian military strikes on civilian and government targets. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why they've lost faith. Sunny and 71 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Too many crooks get out on bail too easy and stay out, says Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder, announcing a no-confidence vote on prosecutor Ryan Mears.
Also outlining our questions to the prosecutor, all of which have gone unanswered. Not even a turn down, just unanswered.
Snyder says he's frustrated that Mears will not account for several crooks having been turned loose and then having killed or hurt people, including cops. Speed, weather, and drinking said to be factors that led to the crash in Vigo County that killed 3 people. 2 of them were Indiana State University football players, Christian Eubanks and Caleb Van Hooser. Sycamore's football coach Kurt Mallory says they're sad but will press on.
And, we came together as the best thing to get going, take one step in front of the other, and move together, and we'll get back on the football field.
2 other ISU students were hurt but survived the crash. Gas prices are back down to $3.89 on average in Indiana, says Gas Buddy. Beware if you're selling a game console or shoes on Facebook Marketplace. Chris Davis reports on a scam that could leave you with no money at all, or at least no real money.
That's because the scammers are paying with phony hundreds. They fold it so you won't see the front, which clearly says play money or copy money. This is happening mostly in Fort Wayne, but they're targeting out-of-town people, so you should be aware. These are the screen names they're using: YK Slow As, Long Live My Brother, and Steph Curry. No real basketball players involved, but they are gaming you. They take your stuff, take it right to the pawn shop, and you're left with nothing. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Andretti Autosport planning to build a new facility for its team in an HQ in Fishers. The facility would house the IndyCar teams as well as Indy Lights and IMSA arms of Andretti Autosport. $200 million, and it'll be done by 2025. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
As you know, I had my garage floor coated with Galaxy concrete coatings a while back, and like anyone, I did some homework before I said, let's do this. Here are some things that I found out. First, Galaxy Concrete Coatings is local and ready to give you and all of Indianapolis a transformation. Next, Galaxy Concrete Coatings is 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it's designed to not only work in your garage, but they can also use it on driveways, walkways, around your pool or patio. With it being UV resistant, it will not yellow. Oh, and it's ready to go in 24 hours, so you can drive, walk, run, dance, splash on it right away. Now for my fun part. I got you 15% off. Just tell them when you call 317-751-9070, you want the Casey deal. You got to tell them the Casey deal for 15% off. And check out their site at galaxyconcretecoatings.com. They are truly out of this world.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 23rd, and things that are trending this hour: McDonald's and the Big Mac. They're finally bringing a twist to the classic sandwich. It will now be made with chicken.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Big Mac. You can have a chicken Big Mac.
Why would you do that?
McDonald's wants to make money.
Can we not leave anything alone?
No.
And what research did they do to say, you know what people really want? A chicken Big Mac.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They probably did do some research to find that.
I challenge. This was the worst idea ever. When does this start? Is it starting now? Does it say?
I don't have that information, Rob.
Okay. Well, whatever it is,
We'll get back to
it's
it.
going to last a very short amount of time.
Okay. Also trending, Paul Pelosi. Somebody questioned who forgave his $1.2 million PPP loan.
So this is Nancy Pelosi's husband,
Mm-hmm.
who is an Uber millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
He, during COVID, said, I need $1.2 million in order to keep my business afloat.
Yeah.
The Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young, and Bernie Sanders, and almost the entire rest of the U.S. Congress said, well, sure you do, Paul Pelosi. Here's your $1.2 million loan. And now the Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young, and Bernie Sanders, and the rest of the U.S. Congress has just said, it's fine. You don't have to pay it back.
Yeah,
You're good.
It's been forgiven.
Wow. And Paul Pelosi seems like a guy who really needed our money, Casey.
Yeah.
I think poor and regular people paying for Jim Irsay to have a stadium and Paul Pelosi to have $1.2 million and Tom Brady to have money. And the tax code and our government is really fair and is really working for regular people.
You think so? Oh, wait, no, that's sarcasm. Also trending, Gene Kelly. Today would have been his birthday. He was born in 1912. And finally...
Wait, real quick. At what point? So he would have been 110.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do we stop saying it would have been someone's birthday today?
Well, it's Gene Kelly.
But that's my point. Like, it would have been Napoleon's birthday today. I mean, at what point are we like, okay, it's one thing if, tragically Fred passed away at 25 years old. Fred would have been 28 today.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Mm-hmm. But at some point, don't we say,
enough.
Yeah, 110. I don't
Enough.
know.
I understand what you're saying, but it is interesting to many people. Therefore, he's trending.
Yeah.
He would not be trending if people didn't care. Whatever. But enough people are commenting and taking notes.
This is why I'm glad I'm off Twitter other than my random posts a couple times a day, so I don't have to see things like this that really anger me.
I'm here for you, Rob.
Thank you.
It's 8 minutes after 10. He is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Let's talk about some legal stuff. A Florida judge has rejected the Biden administration's bid to keep the entire Mar-a-Lago search affidavit sealed, called the Trump raid unprecedented, but says a full release could lead to obstruction and witness intimidation.
Yeah, this judge is, I think, in many ways giving false hope to people that he's going to release anything of substance. I mean, if you start to read the tea leaves on this, he's going to release something, but I think this judge is going to give great deference to the government. And ultimately, now this, I guess, could be appealed. I guess it'll move up the ranks, maybe all the way to the Supreme Court to get that see what information we are entitled to. But it is a scary world where the government can do basically whatever it wants, and then you get no information on what your government is doing. Again, if Donald Trump had some information that was so egregious on his property that my security as an American citizen, a law-abiding American citizen, was at risk, I have every right to know what it was, where it was, and why it had to be seized rather than returned. Was it asked to be returned and he said no? We don't know any of this, and I have a feeling by the time this affidavit is released, we're still not going to know any of this.
So this judge said that he wants to narrowly tailor what is made public.
Yeah.
And search for the least erroneous alternative. So he wants to make new information available to the public within days, but how much of it is going to be redacted? Like, what are we going to get the word the, a, and that's it?
Well, there is a broad swath of things that the government, and I saw this when I was in the government, and it used to amaze me that government would look for ways. They have attorneys, and they would look for ways to give you in a public information request as little as possible. Now, some requests are wholly ridiculous, and they're so broad that you're and there is some reasonable expectation that when you ask for something, you're asking in good faith, and that it should be somewhat specific in what you want. Like, so that way you don't say, I want every email from 1996 to 2020. That's not reasonable. But I want information regarding this specific thing. The problem is the government now has taken whatever they call it, reasonable specificity, or whatever the term is, that you have to provide in a public records request, and they will literally, instead of doing what's right, because the government approach should be, we work for the taxpayers, let's try to give the taxpayer what what a reasonable person would interpret they're looking for. They will look at it and they will go literally by the letter of what you've asked for, or in many cases, they will just respond and go, your request is overly broad. Well, who's to say that? Well, the government's saying it, but you're asking for information from the government. And I used to see these government attorneys and officials and stuff, they would, in many ways, be excited about how little they could give people during a public information request.
Right. Well, I don't want to speculate on the air here, but I know this question has probably popped into your mind. I know it's popped into mine. And they talk about it, the witness intimidation. Who is the insider? They keep claiming that there's somebody within the Trump camp who has given FBI information. Who is it?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter, because we should be able to see, as United States citizens who are paying the salary of every person involved in this, and it involves the likely nominee of a major political party who was the president of the United States, who we in many ways are still paying for him, Secret Service detail, etc. Mm-hmm. We have a right to know these things. This is not, a RICO investigation involving the mafia. This is involving the former president of the United States, who it is being alleged had some sort of information that was so egregious that it endangered the lives of massive amounts of Americans, and yet we still know nothing. because the government is trying to hide that information from you. Why would they be hiding that from you? If it were so damaging to Donald Trump, who we know Garland hates Trump, we know Ray hates Trump, we know Biden hates Trump, why wouldn't they want that out there? And why wouldn't you go overboard in transparency given who it involves and the magnitude of this issue?
So Trump is now suing the federal government over this raid. He says his Fourth Amendment rights have been violated and asked for a special master to oversee the probe. He wants a detailed list of property that was seized by the FBI agents. He's asking the return of any documents not within the scope of the search warrant. He called it an unnecessary, unwarranted, and un-American break-in. And this is coming 2 weeks after the raid. So Trump sues a lot of people.
Yes.
It's a good way to keep his name in the news, but it's also part of the negotiation, right? And in discovery, that's when you can get all the emails and texts. And suing gives you leverage over whoever you're in an argument with, right? He'll have the upper hand for the moment.
Well, but this is about something bigger than Trump is used to working in a world and living in a world where everybody has a mutual interest, right? And we talked about this before. The biggest mistake Trump made is he came from the business world where, yes, you want to get as much as you can for you on your side, but you're dealing with people who have mutual interest or a mutual benefit. I want to sell you this land, or I want to build this, or I want to use your name for this. So there's some sort of shared experience or shared desired outcome in which everybody wants to get as much as they can, but you recognize both parties need something. Trump went into politics thinking, I will use the business approach to try to get along with Schumer and Pelosi and the Democrats. And one of his great flaws is he never figured out you can't work with these people. Their end game is destruction of you. And in terms of trying to use the courts, I agree that in some semblance that may help him, but I think we are in a ball game now that we are starting to see, we're literally in real time seeing the deep state. It has crawled up out of the sewer, right? Mm-hmm. You're seeing it play out in public in front of every single American, in which the United States government is blatantly and openly, as for years they've done it behind the scenes, but blatantly and openly weaponizing itself and all of its resources to destroy a citizen because of his political beliefs.
Mm-hmm. And where's the president? Oh, he's on vacation. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And coming up next, a little leaguer caught on a hot mic and some good news for the dudes. That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
And now we have a crash southbound 69 and 96th Street. Traffic absolutely soul crushing.
When you need to get from here,
crashes on the east side, south side,
to there,
north side, crashes everywhere. An absolute car apocalypse today in the Circle City.
Matt Bear.
Delays, and when I say delays, I mean stop traffic continues to build.
Mornings and afternoons.
So you're going to want to change your reroute. In fact, I'll tell you right
93
now.
WIBC.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Over the past 30 years, I've had people come up to me, often other lawyers, to tell me what a clever marketing idea it was for Cordell & Cordell to commit to men in divorce. Though intended as a compliment, such statements have always bothered me. For one thing, it's far from clear that a decision that's likely to disaffect half the market is a good business decision. But more troubling is the presumption that Cordell & Cordell's success is largely a result of good marketing. I think if you ask one of our 300-plus attorneys or one of our 100,000-plus former clients, that you'd hear a lot about practice skills, experience, client care, and integrity. These are the much harder things that best account for the growth and reputation over time of any law firm, including Cordell & Cordell. Having said all this, I am proud of our marketing messages, and I do want guys to know that we're here to help them. If we can help you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
There's still time to get the backyard of your dreams. Book now with Indy Decorative Concrete, your backyard patio experts. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
This guy's really hardcore, highly fanatical.
And Casey Daniels. On 93 WIBC.
According to doctors, prostate cancer can be cured using a non-invasive breakthrough procedure in just 1 hour. This operation is called NanoKnife and works by using electrical currents to invade and attack hard-to-reach tumors. The name is a little sus, NanoKnife, but apparently it's non-invasive and safe and doing some good things. And
Well,
I'm excited about that.
I think this is great. I think this is phenomenal. I have no idea why Kevin chose to bump in talking about prostate cancer with Teenage Dream.
I chose that before I knew you guys were going to talk about that.
No, I mean, I'm never going to complain. I mean, it's one of the 10 greatest songs ever written, so I'm never going to complain about that.
I realize there's no appropriate song to play for prostate cancer.
But it is, medicine is an amazing thing, right? And modern technology that relates to medicine is an amazing thing. And we are every day we are moving in a better direction in terms of the ability to save people's lives and extend people's lives. And obviously cancer is a very, very serious issue. Prostate cancer, one of the leading cancer killers in terms of men specifically. And so I think this is great.
Yeah, it's said to target the cancer with high precision and accuracy without the need for radiation or surgery to remove any of the bad cells. The method has been used to successfully treat pancreatic cancer, and now they're expanding it to include prostate cancer. So it's in clinical trials right now, but there are 268,000 new cases of prostate cancer every year.
That's a big number.
So are we still doing No Shave November?
I've never done that.
You've never done that?
No, because that does not actually prevent you from getting prostate cancer.
That's correct. But this is just a gentle reminder to, how do I want to say this nicely? Check your junk.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 21 minutes after 10. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. And there was a hot mic that caught a Little League player's blame on a bad call. He blamed ESPN for this. So walk us through this story, Rob.
Okay, so the Little League World Series is going on right now. Obviously, there's a team from Indiana playing in the Little League World Series. They lost yesterday. They won their first game, so they're still in the tournament, but they need to win their next game. So Iowa is one of the teams at the Little League World Series, and they were playing Washington. And in the Little League, they only play 6 innings, so it's a 6-inning game. And there were 2 outs in the game, and the Iowa pitcher, Iowa leading 6-3, throws a pitch that looks like it's strike 3, and it probably was a missed call. Now, it used to be, and I assume it still is, all the umpires at the Little League World Series are volunteer umpires. This is not, there's not an umpires union. This is basically like your reward for being a good Little League umpire is you can go, at least it used to be.
You get a trip to the World Series.
You get to go to the World Series. And it used to be, and again, I have no idea if this has changed or not, they paid their own way to get there. So these are people who are uber, volunteers, good stewards of the community, giving their time. The guy missed the call. It's pretty obvious.
It's probably a strike.
Yeah.
But he didn't call it that
way. And look, there's a lot of professional umpires that miss stuff all the time. Angel Hernandez. And so the kids are upset because they thought, hey, the game's over. The game's not over. You play so hard. They still have the lead, though. And so the coach for the other team comes out to the mound, the Iowa team who thought they had just won the game, starts to come out towards the mound, and all the little kids, meet at the mound with the coach. And we'll play this audio for you. The kid on the Iowa team blatantly accuses the game of being fixed by ESPN. Take a listen.
Half the Iowa team was off the field, or at least making a move to leave the field, but with the walk, it brings up Braden Rudolph as the tying run.
Whoever's pitching is for ESPN, so can come back. That should because ESPN likes it. It's all ESPN.
Nothing we can do about that strike call, okay?
No, the coach is trying to talk him down. All right, settle down. Nothing we can do about that. The next pitch, which was worse, was called a strike.
Well, and this happens all the time in baseball or any other sport where you work the refs and then they give you the call. But I did find it interesting that in this little kid's world, ESPN, who airs the Little League World Series, told that umpire, miss that call because we want this game to keep going. Because what? It would be good for television ratings. It's on in the middle of the day, Casey.
I know. Okay. And that's kind of sad because this kid is 13 years old, 14 years old?
Yeah, 12 or 13 years old, yeah.
And already doesn't trust anything. He doesn't believe anything, and he thinks everything is manufactured.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. This kid's going to probably be a good libertarian when he grows up, so let's not throw him under the bus yet.
Well, being curious is good, but he's not even believing anything. It's like he can't even drive a car, and he's already so cynical, thinking that this is all manufactured for television.
Yeah,
he's playing a game.
It's not a good look. And again, these umpires and these people who volunteer at the Little League World Series do all this for the kids. And we've seen in many cases where parents, especially, are completely out of control as it comes to youth sports. Umpires, etc., who, if they are getting paid, are probably making $20 and getting a hot dog, at the in between games.
This umpire is not in on anything with ESPN.
He's just a volunteer,
right? And the boy who had the hot mic, he's probably getting a lot of influence from his environment.
Yes,
that's a nice way of saying it. Misinformed, but still interesting. A look into a 13-year-old boy's mind. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and coming up next, the conservative voice of Indiana. Are you ready to go to church with Micah Beckwith?
We got a new intro for Micah.
I know,
they finally
like
are going to let him stay. They got a new intro. I can't wait.
All right, we're going to talk with Micah coming up from 93 WIBC.
The Great Resignation is a new and demanding challenge for employers. Beyond recruiting and retaining talented employees, you must understand their changing needs for personalized, non-traditional employee benefits. If you approach and deliver your benefit program as you did a decade ago, McGowan Brabender can help. We are reimagining the employee benefit journey to meet this challenge. It's time to thrive, not just survive. Contact McGowan Brabender to learn more.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey. I've been talking to you about Galaxy Concrete Coatings for your home. But if you're a small business owner or a large business owner, they can help out schools, showrooms, production areas, all sorts of spaces. So consider them if you're a business owner as well. It's Galaxy Concrete Coating. Their number 317-751-9070. 317-751-9070. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com. Check them out today.
Guy Relford for Independent Safe Company located in Noblesville. The worst time to buy insurance for your car is after you've had a wreck. Well, the worst time to buy a safe is after you've had a break-in or a fire that damages those things most important to you. And that's exactly why I made the decision to buy a quality American-made safe from my friends at Independent Safe Company. Whether it's to protect my firearms, my wife's jewelry, our important legal documents, our family heirlooms, whatever it might be, the best way to do that is with a quality American-made safe from Independent Safe Company. Another reason I went with Independent Safe Company is because I was a little worried about how I was going to get a large, heavy safe delivered and installed in my home. Well, the professionals at Independent Safe Company took all those potential headaches completely away, and I was thrilled with the process. So if you've made the decision to buy a quality American-made safe, check out my friends at Independence Liberty Safe, located in Noblesville, at independencelibertysafe.com, or give them a call at 317-214-1437. That's my friends at Independence Liberty Safe, located in Noblesville.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's back to school time, and that means it's our annual King for Queen mattress sale and our inventory reduction sale on all in-stock Berlin Gardens and Pollywood outdoor furniture. The lowest prices of the year on the best mattresses and on all outdoor furniture that is all weather. Get interest-free financing and free delivery only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Sale ends Monday.
911, what's your emergency?
In an emergency, voice is best. But what if you can't call?
Escalated domestic disturbance reported east of downtown. Be advised, alert was received by a 911 emergency text. Caller is hiding in a closet and can't use her voice.
When the situation is too dangerous to make a call, text to 911 capability now helps Hoosiers. But in most emergencies, voice is still best.
My sister's not breathing. Please hurry.
In the last 5 years, Hoosiers have used text capability in over 1 million 911 sessions. It's of great help to the deaf and speech impaired and to those in select dangerous situations. Thanks to the statewide 911 board, Indiana leads the nation with all 92 counties having in- and outbound text capability. For more, visit in911.net.
It's good to hear your voice. Help is on the way.
911. Before you text, voice is best.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How they feel as he leaves. It's sunny and 73 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Mixed feelings on Capitol Hill as Dr. Anthony Fauci plans to step aside.
President Biden thanking him in a statement saying this: I extend my deepest thanks for his public service. The United States of America is stronger, more resilient, and healthier because of him. Fauci spent 38 years as the head of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases and credits science for his work. But his Republican critics are lining up, promising congressional hearings if they take back control.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. A teacher strike in Ohio.
We are all calling our kids in absent. Nobody is crossing the picket line, whether it's in real life or cyberspace.
Columbus, Ohio Mayor Andrew Ginther is urging school district leaders and the teachers union to continue negotiations. Class sizes and the condition of school buildings are among the major points of concern laid out by the union. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to go to church. Here to preach to the choir from the bully pulpit, Pastor Micah Beckwith.
93 WIBC, it's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline, joined by our good friend, the conservative voice of the state of Indiana, Pastor Micah Beckwith. All right, Beckwith, so I gave you I said, give me a list of things you'd like to talk about, and you wrote a Charles Dickens novel in response, so I'm going to pick the best of what you said of the 93 things you wanted to talk about today. Is that all right?
That sounds good.
Well, okay, and so on this program, if you're going to say something remotely critical of Mike Pence, you go right to the front of the line, and you were very upset that so many Republicans are apparently Team FBI and Team DOJ, and, well, it appears that Mike Pence is the leader of the pack in terms of the FBI can do no wrong.
Well, to be clear, I didn't use Mike Pence's name.
I
just
did.
said, okay. No, but I have great respect for Mike Pence in one way. I think he really has pushed his values and faith to America in a solid way. But when he gets up there and he starts to defend the machine, and he says we shouldn't be critical of the FBI or DOJ because we are pro law enforcement. I go back to the Constitution. I go back and say, okay, our founding fathers never envisioned a police state at the federal level. They didn't. It was all supposed to be state and local law enforcement. There are a few small things that the federal government should have the ability to enforce when it comes to the law. But what we've seen happen over the last 50 to 60 years is this huge bloated bureaucracy that has become a Gestapo in a sense. And I think every American needs to be very concerned with how much power the DOJ and the FBI has been given. And Congress needs to act, and they need to get that back under control, or else it may be too late. By the time we realize what's happening, we may not be able to do anything at that point.
Okay, the other thing and I thought that was perfectly espoused, and I think we can all agree that this totally disqualifies Mike Pence from ever running for president. Deal? Are we good on that?
Oh, listen, like I said, we're going to let it play out. I'm a Trump guy. I think after what happened in Mar-a-Lago, I'm all in Trump. I was kind of a DeSantis guy, but now I just want to vote for Trump just to stick it to the swamp even more. I mean, I know just yeah.
Well, that's an interesting question, right? Because you are we call you the conservative voice of Indiana, and we value your opinion. Do you believe many people like yourself will totally lose your mind and do the wrong thing and go for Trump instead of DeSantis when I thought you were so close to being a decent human being?
Again, I want to poke the federal government in the eye. I want to send a shot over the bow and say, you're not going to keep getting away with doing what you've done to us for the last 2 years. I mean, look at Fauci, look at the CDC, look at all these things that have happened to the DOJ, FBI. There is a two-tiered justice level in our nation right now, and I want to send somebody in there that's going to be a bull in the china shop and to break it down to its core so that we can actually then reform it so that it looks the way our founding fathers envisioned it to look.
Because, Casey, we've talked about that quite a bit, and yeah, I think I don't want to speak for you, so I'll let you speak for yourself. I think the Republicans are potentially making a gigantic mistake nominating Donald Trump again.
Somewhat, yeah. But there's a lot of people who feel like Micah do, who just want to have him go in there and drain the swamp.
Well, and Micah, you're entitled to be wrong, and that's fine, and we'll forgive you. Everybody's entitled to be wrong every so often, and that's. Don't you just worry that there is a level of exhaustion with Donald Trump that you say, man, the average person may have just had enough of this guy, and you're going to get nothing instead of everything you wanted with Ron DeSantis?
Yeah, I think there's that. That's certainly a concern. And Donald Trump, and I've said it before, I've been critical of him, and he's his own worst enemy sometimes. But Rob, let me throw it back to you for a second.
Yes.
I mean, do you actually think that a Ron DeSantis or someone like that's going to go in and be able to really flip the system on its head and to clean it out? I think Trump's going to come in with a vengeance if he gets back in, which will be amazing for the American people. I mean, don't you think we need that fighter to go into the federal government and say, back off?
Here's what I need, Micah. I need to be wowed. I need to be charmed. I need to be snowballed. And I feel like DeSantis, what with the good looks and the wife and the kids and the impeccable background, DeSantis is, well, he's everything I ever aspired to. I mean, he even played the Little League World Series, for crying out loud. Micah, why would you hate on Little League Baseball and not want this guy to be your president?
No, I want him to be president, but I'm thinking, why don't we set him up for 2028? Let's get Trump in there for 2024, and then I think we could have 8 years of DeSantis after Trump. I think that would be a pretty good decade, if you ask me.
All right, Micah, let's talk about another guy that Rob absolutely admires and adores and would like to hug every time he sees him. Of course, I'm talking about Eric Holcomb. What's your reaction?
I was shocked. I didn't know you were going there.
No, that was sarcasm. Jokes you have to point out. That's what we're good for. Let's talk about his trip to Taiwan. Thoughts?
Yeah, so I think again, I heard that he was the first governor to go since COVID to Taiwan. I think this Eric Holcomb is always economic focused. Now, that's his greatest strength. I think he's done a good job of creating an economic powerhouse in Indiana to some extent. But I saw that and I was just kind of like, what are you? I mean, we are in this really contentious state with China right now, and I'm all for supporting Taiwan. But what are you going to accomplish from Taiwanese industry coming over to the United States right now? I mean, where is this going? That was my biggest question. And maybe it'll pan out. I think we need to certainly start doing what Taiwan does and start manufacturing microchips here in the United States. I don't know if he's thinking about bringing that type of manufacturing into Indiana. If he is, great, good on him. But I'm just looking at it. I texted Rob. I said, how funny would it be if his trip actually is what sparks the war between China and Taiwan, and then you'd really have a fodder to go after your good friend Eric Holcomb there, Rob. And I think we got a good chuckle out of it.
Well, and we talked about this yesterday, that this guy likes the perks of being governor. He doesn't want to actually be governor because there's 10 million things going on in this state that he should be addressing, including, I don't know, that he's still got $1,300 of my money that he has no use for, but he doesn't want to do the nuts and bolts of governing. He always wants to be the guy that goes on the trip to Davos to hang out with Klaus Schwab or Taiwan. He doesn't want to do the actual work.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I mean, when we've needed him most to step up and to be governor of Indiana, he's been MIA. He's either not defending our liberties when he should have been, or he's, like you said, he's hanging out in Davos with the Schwab-type characters. And I think today he's on his way to South Korea. I mean, I just look at it, I'm like, there's a lot of things that we need to get done here at home. And again, I don't want to say a governor should never travel internationally to work on bringing business to the home state. That's a good thing. But I just, I kind of look at this, I'm like, this is a little too little, a little too late. And I don't know, it's a pretty delicate situation over there. And I don't necessarily trust Eric Holcomb to have the best foreign geopolitical mindset of politicians around our nation that we're sending over into those hot spots. But
again, want to be another thing too. If Indiana has no income tax, there are no property taxes. All of these mega corporations that Holcomb's bringing here are making your tax burden effectively zero. I would then be okay with that. But our taxes here keep going up.
Yeah, well, and that's the fault of spineless Republican legislators who don't have the willpower to actually do what's right. And this maybe leads me to another talking point, Rob. I was thinking about this a lot the last week. We just had the so-called abortion ban that happened a couple weeks ago, and where have the Republicans been? I mean, no one's out there touting like, hey, this is a good thing. This is a win. This is we should be proud of this. You voted for it, so be proud of it, right? You should be able to stand on the merits of the bill that you supported if you were in support of it. And they do everything kind of like, I don't want to get beat up by the media, so we're gonna sign this at night. We're gonna slide it through. We're not gonna be bold. And I think what I'm sensing is conservatives, especially, we're looking for courage. We're looking for boldness. We're looking for leaders that are going to lead. That's what leaders do. Get out there and lead. And yeah, you might feel like you're on an island as a leader, but that's what a leader does. A leader says, "We're going this way. I'm going. Follow me. I'm going to be the one to trailblaze right now." And so. I don't see that in our leaders right now. I don't see that in the Republican legislature. I can't look to one legislator, the Speaker of the House, the Pro Tem, I can't see anybody that's the Ron DeSantis in Indiana right now. Who's that leader that we can rally behind? We don't have it.
Real quick before I let you go, you surprised that the Second Congressional District Caucus picked a guy with zero track record of doing anything conservative? I mean, look, this was kind of a sympathy vote, right? And are you surprised with the way it played out that Rudy Yoakum is the new congressman with his only apparent qualification being he was friends with Jackie Walorski?
Well, I don't think I was surprised. I kind of, once Dean, Jackie's husband, jumped in a week ago and said he was getting behind Rudy, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I was certainly I'm good friends with Curtis Hill and Christy Stutzman, and I would have loved to see either one of them in that seat. But the thing with Rudy was when Dean got in, I just know Hoosiers. Hoosiers are very compassionate, sympathetic people. I think when Dean got up and he gave a very impassioned intro to Rudy at the caucus on Saturday, and he said, this is what Jackie would want. This is where we should go. And, as her husband, I think we should get behind Rudy. When he did that, I was kind of like, oh, here we go. People are going to vote with their hearts, not with their minds. And that's the problem that we have in politics. People vote with their hearts and not with their minds. And emotions are powerful, but they can lead us astray very easily. And so that's I think, Rudy might be good. I don't know. To your point, he doesn't really have a track record. I've met him one time. He's a nice guy. I met him at a Doden event a few weeks ago, and we had a good conversation. But we'll kind of have to wait to see. I wonder if he's going to be that anti-establishment kind of punch in the teeth that we want to send to Washington right now. But that's going to be that's still yet to be seen. So we'll see.
All right. So Casey, we got to 3 of his 93 things he listed.
Yeah, I thought we did pretty good. You know what? And you made a point.
90.
You made a point, Micah, that Rudy Yoakum doesn't have a track record, and maybe that's not a bad thing. At least it's not a track record of suck.
That's true. I mean, compared to
Can I
a lot
say
of
that to the
people in
master?
Congress,
Oh, he said worse than that on the air. You're fine.
Okay, cool. All right, Micah, thanks so much for joining us. It's Kendall and
thanks,
Casey.
guys.
Yeah, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. More fallout from Hamilton Southeastern, the police vote on no confidence, and the biggest stories of the day, 93 WIBC.
Hello, Hoosiers. This is Congressman Greg Pence. It's an honor to serve the 6th District of Indiana. As a former Marine, I'm proud to serve you. As you all know, inflation is out of control. The Biden administration's policies are crushing our economy and crushing our wallet. I'm fighting every day against the Biden policies driving up the cost of groceries and utilities. In Congress, we need the federal government working for Americans, not against Americans. We need to curb runaway government spending to fight back against inflation. We need to support domestic energy production to lower gas prices. As your congressman, I will continue to fight on your behalf. Please visit pence.house.gov to learn more.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
At Franciscan Health, we're inspired by what moves you and how you move through life. So if you're suffering from joint pain and want to get back to an active lifestyle, Franciscan Health Mooresville and Carmel, home to the Center for Hip and Knee Surgery, is your best move. Our world-renowned orthopedic surgeons offer the latest advancements in total joint replacement, including outpatient surgery. If you're ready to get moving with less pain, request an appointment at centerforhipandkneesurgery.org.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 3.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 3.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Tony Katz for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, Central Indiana's Premier Arms dealer. And yeah, they're doing construction there on Green Street. And yeah, that construction has been a pain in the you-know-what, but it's going to be worth it because they have the selection of new and used firearms that you want to see. And PA Jewelers, the jewelry store inside Premier Arms, means that there is something there for everyone. It is worth the drive and a little bit of traffic to get to Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, 317-858-3030, or online at premierarms.com.
Did you know 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income? It's true. 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's all because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you could avoid this with a free, customized Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-972-9172. Don't lose tens of thousands of dollars in Social Security income that's rightfully yours. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
Here's Terry Stacy to tell you what's going on with WIBC.
The Home and Garden Show is on the road again, and we're heading back to Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 71st and Keystone. Live every Saturday starting at 9. Be sure to tune in to Pat, Denny, and the gang on 93 WIBC. Follow WIBC on your favorite social media channels to stay up to date on breaking news, traffic updates, and weather. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Marian University Preparatory School is a faith-based online private school currently enrolling grades 6 to 9. Financial aid is available. Visit k12.com/Marian, k12.com/MARIAN.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning. Thanks for listening. Hammer's in the studio. Now, you posted something to the Hammer and Nigel Facebook page. A Yankee fan using a hot dog as a straw to drink beer. This is gross.
We have a little game we play on our show called Is This Anything?
Mm-hmm.
So I will defer to the brain trust in this studio. So for those who haven't seen the video, and again, you can watch it on Hammer and Nigel Facebook or just find it all over social media. At the New York Yankees baseball game last night, there's a guy sitting in the stands. He's got a beer. He buys a hot dog. He takes the wiener off the bun, like hollows it out with like a straw or something, some sort of device, and then proceeds to use the hot dog wiener as a straw to drink his beer with.
It looks kind of emasculating.
Yeah, that's not something dudes normally do, I don't think.
Do you use a normal straw in your everyday life?
Not too much. Not too much.
Yeah, how about you?
Who drinks beer out of a straw?
Well, exactly.
No, I do, because as Hammer will attest, my favorite drink is the Long Island, and the Long Island tastes best when mixed and consumed through a straw. So,
because the associate won't use a straw ever. Like if we're out at a restaurant and they put a straw in his Coke or whatever beverage
out of the glass?
Out of the glass,
Oh,
but
wow.
he will remove the straw. So this guy with the hot dog takes it to a whole new level.
Right. See, let me tell you the reasons why I can't get behind this guy. And I've seen arguments of people saying, well, this is the American dream. You're drinking beer with a hot dog and, blah, 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 blah. That's a waste of a hot dog to me. Like, you could bring a straw from home or something. Like the Yankee Stadium people wanding you down as you go into the ball game are not going to say, you've got a straw, you have to leave. That's a waste of a hot dog. And if you've ever bought a hot dog at a baseball game, especially Yankee Stadium, where everything is super expensive, that's a waste of a hot dog.
So it looks like he's hollowing out the hot dog with a straw.
Right.
And then throws the straw away and uses the hot dog.
So clearly he likes the way that the beer tastes coming up through the wiener.
Now I have...
Did you get that on tape there, Kevin? Make sure you use that as a promo moving forward.
Now I've used beer to cook brats in.
Right.
Yeah,
right. You can
gets
use it
infused with that beer flavor.
Right, but to use a meat to suck said beer up with in a relaxation setting just seems a little weird.
Can we talk about something else you posted on your, it's at Jason Allen Hammer, your personal account? I saw this and I thought this is just... your description is classic, so I'm going to read the description. So there was a fight that took place, what was it, the Steelers and the Jags, a little preseason game the other day,
right? This past weekend.
Now, if you're getting in a fight at a preseason game, you got a huge problem because those games don't count for nothing. So what could possibly be happening at that game that would enrage you to the point of getting in a large-scale brawl?
Drinking too many beers with a hot dog, probably.
Probably. So this was a huge fight. It went on for a long time. It went up several rows. I mean, I think it spilled out into the hallway at one point. Here's Hammer's description. This fight has it all: butt crack, beer, a guy just trying to record, a crazy looking Florida man in a classic Emmitt Smith jersey staring at a chick's rack.
It had it all. Like all your favorites, Fight Club pals were there. This was mid-season form for an NFL fight. And you see this a lot at NFL stadiums. People get drunk by the third quarter, and more often than not, it's like rowdy Steeler fan or Raider fan. Those are the two that usually find themselves in the most scrapes. But this one, it lasted a while, multiple rows. And there were so many different types of people. You had preppies, you had fat guys, you had like this homeless looking Emmett Smith guy, hot chicks with racks, a dude showing his butt crack trying to climb upstairs to punch somebody.
Well, and I think the best part at the end was, as you said, the guy in the Emmett Smith jersey who looks like he would be sleeping outside our building here on Monument Circle, who comes sprinting down the stairway at the end after the fight is over. And there's like an up-close shot of him checking out some chick's top.
And if you watch this fight video like I did, almost like the Zapruder film, you see Emmett Smith jersey guy coming from like a row over. So he comes down from the top, comes down, makes like a big loop, goes up the stairs to chase the fight, then comes back down to oogle the chick's rack.
It's good stuff. You can find it at Jason Allen Hammer on Twitter. You had the head of the Indy FOP on yesterday, Rick Snyder, and something happened yesterday that really is unprecedented in this country, in which the police in Indianapolis gave a vote of no confidence to the prosecutor and basically the court system.
So think about this. Think about some of the really liberal cities with liberal prosecutors in this country. Los Angeles, Seattle, places like that. There hasn't been a no confidence vote on those folks, but here in Indianapolis, we've got one now. And I asked Rick Snyder, FOP head, yesterday, was there one specific moment? Was there a straw that broke the camel's back here on why you've lost all faith? And part of it was the FedEx situation, the way that the prosecutor basically just screwed that up. And the court system said, we'll fix it just by taking it away from him because he's such an incompetent moron. And also the shooting of Officer Tommy Mangan here in Indianapolis. Now, Officer Mangan lived. He was shot in the throat. But the guy that shot him had 20 plus previous felonies.
That's unbelievable.
Not misdemeanors. He wasn't busted for some nickel and dime stuff. He had 20 plus felonies, and he was out on the streets. And it's situations like that. The guy that shot Officer Cheney should not have, been out, one right after the other. That's why this vote of no confidence is happening. Not because you don't like their politics, but people are getting shot. People are getting killed, and people are dying.
Does a vote of no confidence, is there anything binding with that?
No, but what you can do, and we asked this question yesterday, what it does is now that you've got this vote and it's on the record, your police officers feel this way, the next step is you try to take it to the governor's office or you try to take it to the attorney general, somebody with some actual power to listen to you, maybe the Indiana Supreme Court, and say, we've got to figure something out.
That's really scary if Holcomb or Todd Rokita are your best options.
Maybe the Indiana Supreme Court.
Will Malik Muhammad be in the meeting?
No, he can. He's in jail.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's coming up this afternoon.
Senator Mike Braun will be in studio with us.
Fantastic.
We've got Tuesdays with Tony Katz and the biggest stories of the day.
All right. Thanks, Hammer. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news! We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We've been in the same location with the same phone number for 27 years. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what in the heck do you have to lose? Call me at 317-435-1718 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-435-1718 or rragency.org. Don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Mortgage rates are down and home equity is up. If you've been thinking about a refinance, now's the perfect time. Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. And I can structure that loan where you can miss a few months of mortgage payments. Now that should put you on the path to financial freedom. How much can you save? Let's find out today. Start online at thehomeloanexpert.com, home of the 10-day closing guarantee.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, how would you live your life if you could wake up each morning knowing there was enough money coming in to not only cover your basic needs, but also your goals and dreams as well?
The mission at the Singer Financial Group is that they want to work with people who expect their relationship to be transformational rather than transactional. If that's what you're looking for, you should connect with the Singer Financial Group. 317-852-9153. That's 317-852-9153, or go to singerfinancialgroup.com. Schedule a discovery meeting and see how the retirement income money map planning process could transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Old National Bank is asking businesses to get old. But first, they have questions.
Who runs my business if I get old?
You do. You can get old and remain young.
Is that possible?
With a commercial bank as good as Old National, yes.
What will it feel like to get old?
Well, business owners describe a feeling of euphoria, having local decision-making and committed relationship bankers.
Okay, one old guy coming up.
Introducing Old National Bank, where business relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Coming up in 2 minutes, an update on the shooting that injured a person this morning, plus some of the factors that led to the crash that killed 3 ISU students. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Another primary Tuesday. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. In New York, a new congressional map has 2 incumbent House Democrats facing each other. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney compete for New York's newly drawn 12th congressional district, which covers much of Manhattan's Upper West Side. The 2 have decades of experience in Congress and are facing another challenge from 38-year-old lawyer Suraj Patel.
In Florida, Democrats Charlie Crist and Nikki Fried are fighting for the right to take on incumbent Ron DeSantis in November. Governor says Florida's economy is doing great.
None of that would have happened if I had done what the people on the Democrat side wanted to do.
Governor DeSantis on Fox and Friends. Former President Trump is suing the federal government, demanding to have a neutral special master go through the material seized from his home in Florida. The New York Times reports he took more than 300 classified documents. Son-in-law Jared Kushner says it's the same kind of attack as always.
They're leaking to the same sources. They're manufacturing fabulous claims that then get debunked, shortly thereafter.
Kushner there also on Fox and Friends. The governor of California says no to a new illegal drug program.
There will be no legalized drug injection and consumption sites in California, citing the potential for unintended consequences. California Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill that would have created a pilot program of drug consumption facilities in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Oakland. The controversial bill passed the state Senate by a slim margin last week. The sites would be staffed with clinicians who could administer life-saving treatment in the event of an overdose. Critics of the bill, including Senate Republicans and law enforcement leaders, argued the bill would encourage more drug abuse while doing little to help addicts. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Archaeologists in Israel say they've uncovered a 1,200-year-old estate in the town of Rahat. It would have belonged to someone wealthy, with 4 wings and marble hallways and vaults under a central courtyard. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not a teenager, a young girl. Sunny and 76 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling for Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Originally said to be a teenager shot on the northwest side this morning, IMPD now clarifying that the person shot near 59th and Muller was a 9-year-old girl. The girl is stable at the hospital. Police have not said yet what led up to the shooting. It was at an apartment complex just south of that intersection. 3 teenagers were killed and 2 other people hurt in a crash on State Road 46 Sunday in Vigo County. ISU AD Sherrod Clinkscales says it's hit the school hard.
Every single one of our student athletes, coaches were out there praying, crying together.
The 3 killed in the crash were ID'd Monday as Christian Eubanks, Jaden Musili, and Caleb Van Hooser. Speed, weather, and drinking were factors in the crash, say police. What's safer, a bent pole or a flexible barrier? Chris Davis reports on why some cyclists think that they're getting the short end of the safety stick.
You've seen those poles that separate bike lanes from the lanes for your car. They're called bollards. In Indianapolis, on some streets, they've been replaced with flexible poles mounted in rubber. Trevor Preddy tells Wish TV he feels like the city removed some protection.
It's a matter of how much our city cares to keep people like me safe.
The Department of Public Works says the poles got bent when cars hit them, sometimes in the way of cyclists, and the concrete chunks pulled up can also be dangerous. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Substitute teachers in Fort Wayne will be making a bit more. The city's school district there has approved a plan that would add an extra $20 to $50 per day in their subs' paychecks. Fort Wayne Community Schools Superintendent Mark Daniels says they want to hire more experienced teachers. Indiana's Little League team from Hagerstown lost last night in the Little League World Series. They were upended by Tennessee. They're not done yet, though. Double elimination. They face Pennsylvania today at 3 o'clock. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Tamer Nigel here for friends at Window Nation. Back to school time is here, and Window Nation can help you get an A+ in savings right now. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy and pay nothing until 2025. As the temperatures soar, so do your energy bills with old, inefficient windows. Stay cool, lower those bills, and raise the value of your home with new Energy Star efficient windows.
Window Nation has expertly installed over 1 million windows, rewarding and increasing value in over 150,000 homes, all with over 96% needing no follow-up service. That is an A+. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. Buy 4, get 4 for free. There's no limit. Plus, make no down payment, no payments, no interest until 2025. You'll save big during Window Nation's back-to-school sale. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 23rd. Things that are trending this hour. Dennis Rodman. The U.S. State Department has discouraged him from going to Russia to help Brittany Griner. Dennis says that he's going to do what he can anyway. Also trending, Meghan Markle. She launched a Spotify podcast series. Her first interview is with Serena Williams. And finally trending.
Wait.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle has like an interview show?
Mm-hmm. She's interviewing Serena Williams.
What federal crime must you commit in which your sentence is you have to listen to Meghan Markle interview people?
You have to sit in this room with flashing lights. It's freezing cold, and we're going to play Meghan Markle's podcast.
I can't.
No, I confess.
I can't even imagine who the people are and what's going on in their life if they subject themselves to a Meghan Markle interview show.
I'm curious a little to see what sort of tone her voice has, if she has a good voice quality. Or if it's squeaky and irritating. Like, regardless of the content.
I can't.
How does she sound?
This business is littered with so many just ridiculously underqualified people who make gobs and gobs of money. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Speaking of unqualified people.
If I'd have been a woman and had better thighs, my life would have turned out differently.
Finally trending, and this is just showing you how powerful this broadcast is, Rob Kendall.
Oh.
How to edit your post on Facebook is trending. And if you didn't join us last hour, just rewind our podcast and get caught up.
By the way, he is still texting me. Jim Lucas, the lunatic representative from Seymour, is still texting me and posting on Facebook. It is, I mean, I don't think I need a restraining order yet.
Are we getting there?
But it should scare the hell out of everyone that this guy is one of the most 150 most powerful people in our state. I mean, he has become the chick with the boiling water on the stove saying, I will not be ignored, Dan. I mean, that is him. It is, somebody needs to check on this guy. If you are in the greater Seymour area and you can do a welfare check on Jim Lucas, somebody help this man.
I'm just going to go back to what I said earlier when it comes to posting things incessantly on social media.
Yes.
It's a matter of self-control.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people have never had a platform before.
Right.
And now they do, and they're given space to speak. However, maybe they should not.
Well, it really is this interesting, double-edged sword of the internet, right? Because on one hand, the internet has given rise, or the ability to rise, by people who otherwise might have felt voiceless or not important or unable to engage in society in any effective manner. And there's some merit to that. But on the other hand, and we've talked about this before, it has given the ability of complete and utter lunatics to enter into the ether and get traction. Look, no internet, no Alex Jones, right? I mean, there's a great example of that. It used to be, and we talked about Meghan Markle. Here's another phenomenal example, right? There used to be a time where in order to, especially like in the industry of media, in order to become prominent or, become a big deal, you had to work your way up the ladder, right? And you know this very, very well.
Absolutely.
Right.
For horrific pay in the smallest, tiniest little markets in the country.
And so by and large, you moved up based on your ability to succeed in those various outlets. You might start at a community radio station and then work your way up through there, and your success at each stop depending on whether you moved up. Well, now in the
and you learned along the way to improve your skills.
Sure, we've said this for years and years and years. There are many, many people who are famous on the internet who could never do what we do every single day.
It's very easy to give a 10-second hot take, but to sustain that for 3 hours a day, every single day.
And there was a time, and for radio nerds like us growing up, this was the way people were judged based on success. So if you're, if you're from our era, your era is a little bit before mine, but just slightly, the judge of success was, are you willing to work your way up through the ranks? Now, in my case, I took several detours, unfortunately, of owning businesses and politics and whatever, but this is how you were judged on success. Well, now, I don't know the next generation that comes along, 20, 30 years from now, are they going to be judged being good at this, which took the art of learning how to be a broadcaster and put a radio show together and do interviews? I'm not sure that that's going to be the judge of are you good anymore. And to bring all this full circle, the problem is maniacs are bad enough, but maniacs in a position of importance on the internet are even worse. Jim Lucas is one of the 150 most powerful people in the state of Indiana. And then, include the governor in there. He's a member of the Indiana General Assembly. I wouldn't want him running the local bead shop. The guy has serious issues. I mean, the incessant texting and posting, and every time we talk about him, almost he makes a post on Facebook about it. It's weird. Go away.
Some people just don't have the self-control or the self-awareness.
You are
to be better.
And that's such a great point of it, right? You are a state representative. And I realize that when you waltz your ass around that state house, people kiss your ass because they're afraid of you, because you are a state rep. And Casey and I have had this conversation several times before when, what's his name? Tesla or that irrelevant guy from South Bend, Tesca, who kept demanding on when he was going to be on our show. And you kept wanting to be nice to him. And I said, no, you can't be nice to these people because they're not nice to the taxpayers. And they're used to being able, inside that state house, to bully and push their way around. And because people are worried because they need their jobs, they got to be nice to them. We don't need them. And that's what enrages a guy like, what was his name? Tesca. And Lucas, because we don't need them and they're not in charge here. And we have power on this radio station. And when you're narcissistic and you're self-absorbed, which so many of these lawmakers down the road from us are, in Washington, D.C. are, why do you think Todd Young behaved the way that day that he did? Why do you think his little assistant Igor behaved the way that he did? Because they're not used to being challenged.
Right.
And we have the platform not only to challenge them, but people will hear it when we do, and people will go, I never thought of that before.
And we're saying things that people are thinking.
Yes. Yeah. So when you are a state rep, heaven forbid you use a little more discretion than if you were a guy working at the local, auto plant store.
Little self-control.
You are a public figure who represents all the people, and as such, you should consider that before you post and then delete the post.
Yeah, a little decorum would be appreciated. It's 13 minutes after 11. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Let's talk about Bill Maher. America is engaging in an unprecedented spending spree. And this is something that Bill Maher is addressing with his guest. Who is his guest? His name was Tim Dillon, right?
No. That was Rogan, which we're going to get to in a little bit.
I've got the wrong thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Bill Maher had always has a couple different people on the show. And it doesn't matter because it's what he said that matters. He's not having a back and forth with anyone here. He's doing one of his monologues. And it is easy for people to dismiss what we say here as, Rob Kendall is, some right-wing lunatic MAGA who wants people to suffer. And the reality is, and I think I can speak for you when I say this as well, we want a government that serves the people and is efficient and effective and accountable in the services it provides. And the only services government should be providing are services that people cannot provide for themselves. So when we talk about the waste, fraud, and abuse inside of what they have done the federal government has done the past couple of years with COVID, the PPP and the stimulus and everything else, it's easy to dismiss us. Mm-hmm. But in reality, we are saying the things that I think the majority of American taxpayers, who are the consumer of the government, want, which is accountability when our dollars are being spent and making sure that they're being utilized with efficiency and effectiveness. And so it's easy to say about us, but Bill Maher in this clip is saying the same thing that we say here every single day. Take a listen.
COVID money, because we did write checks for, I think, $5.7 trillion when the forever flu hit. Okay, so we can argue about whether that was an appropriate amount. I think it might have been a little high. But what really pisses me off is that so much of it was stolen, and that's what I was talking about in April. Some of these numbers might be a little out of date since then, but unemployment insurance for people, $872 billion went out the door. They estimate maybe up to half was stolen. The PPP. Again, very unfortunate phraseology in that party. That was the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay, this was small businesses trying to cover their employees who were now out of work. Only a quarter paid wages that would have otherwise been lost. And this is the question I asked back in April, and I'm going to ask it again. It doesn't really make me a conservative, does it, that I don't want to be absolutely robbed blind? Is there some number at which I go, you know what? You are just taking my money and wasting it and letting people steal it.
What is the magic number? I mean, we're all agreeing on this.
Right. And this is where it's infuriating. Like when I had the great misfortune of being treated very poorly by Todd Young and Igor, his evil, awful assistant, at the Stack's Pancake House. Whereas though I'm some sort of villain who wants to kill a grandma because I said, you clowns stole $5.7 trillion of some future generation's money with no accountability whatsoever, no procedures in place, no way to track it down, and much of the money that even was legally obtained went to people like Paul Pelosi and Jay-Z and Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. And yet we're led to believe that we are the bad guys on this radio show for having the audacity to say, hey, that's not right and that's not a good use of our money.
Yeah, stop spending money. It's reducing innovation, which of course reduces the entrepreneurs in our country. It makes people dependent on government, and it increases the cost of living via subsidies. And the note that I have on subsidies is why the average cost of attending a 4-year college or university rose nearly 500%.
Yeah, we don't have to pay for that anymore because Biden's going to cancel.
Oh, well, we're just going to spend more money. It's a circle then. It just keeps going round.
Now
and
you're
round
catching
on. 17 minutes after 11, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Your Echo smart speaker has just gotten smarter. Ask Alexa to activate your WIBC News Flash Briefing skill.
Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing. From the WIBC mobile newsroom, this is local news for Indianapolis.
Gas Buddy says the statewide average.
Get the latest news updates on demand.
I'm John Herrick.
The administration should be going
Stan 93 Chris Davis, 93 WIBC mobile news.
When you want your news in a flash, get it with no waiting with Alexa at 93 WIBC.
You asked, we toasted. That's right, breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Wake up with your favorite today, like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Freshly toasted and topped with a tender, juicy steak patty, a fluffy folded egg, melty American cheese, and grilled onions. Or enjoy other classic combinations like the sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese. When you're all finished, you will be wishing it was morning, all over again. Breakfast hours only at participating McDonald's.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
This is Joe Cordell. In other ads, I've talked about the weighty matters that are on the table in divorce: assets, debts, spousal support, and of course, children. But here I want to talk to you about a troublesome issue that arises early and often in the divorce process, but which attorneys, including myself, say too little about, and that's the cost of a divorce. Yet as important as this factor is, it shouldn't overwhelm the more deserving issues that are raised by divorce. But here are just a few things that Cordell & Cordell is doing to help. We have now reduced our initial deposit or retainer. Also, there's no longer a charge for initial consultations for those who retain. And finally, we now provide on the front end a maximum fee pledge for certain modification and support matters. The bottom line is that to be a partner men can count on, we have to think about all their needs, and attorney fees are no exception.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
I gotta tell you, I can't stand that guy.
And Casey Daniels.
I don't care who knows it.
On 93 WIBC.
So just yesterday, we told you about a poll that says 74% of people believe the country is moving in the wrong direction. So what does that do for the leader of the party who's in charge? Well, a new poll says that 55% of Americans are disapproving of Biden's job performance. And there's been no change in his job approval rating in recent weeks.
Yeah, and so it comes back to what's going on in the media right now, and it certainly appears that in many ways it's working as it normally does, which is the media, the mainstream national media, and the polling associated with it is voter manipulation. And this is what I tell people. You can either believe in history and believe that history is a great predictor of future human behavior, or you can believe, oh my gosh, this is just the one total exception to human behavior, and it's going to be just totally different this time. Well, why? Well, the polling says. And what I'm talking about is every issue that gets polled on, the American people say they are dissatisfied with the condition and the direction of the country. The polling shows whether he's at 40 or 42 or 39 or 43, Joe Biden is underwater in every single poll. And what we're also led to believe is, oh my gosh, America is falling in love with everything the Democrats are doing. Oh my gosh, they're infatuated with the Biden Green Dream, the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS bill, along with the Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young, that they teamed up together to spend money on. We're told with every bill that passes, this is it. This is really, America's reimagining life with Democrats in charge. But yet the polling shows, and we're going to play a little clip here. This is MSNBC doing this. So this is not Breitbart or Newsmax, showing that by their own polling, Biden has not moved since May. For all these supposed wins that America loves, Biden is not moving in the polls. Listen.
Question we're always looking at here in midterm election years, the president's job approval rating, and you see Joe Biden in our new poll, 42% approve, 55 disapprove. It's been a few months since the last NBC poll back in May, and the change since then, really no change. Biden's approval rating exactly the same in our poll toward the end of the summer as it was as the summer was beginning. And the key to this, of course, obviously, there usually, historically, has been a pretty strong link between a president's job approval rating and how his party does during midterm elections.
So you can believe history, Casey, which shows throughout history, even if the president is not wildly unpopular, his party loses seats. When the president is wildly unpopular, it's a bloodbath. See Obama, see 2018 with Trump. Now, Trump's was weird because he actually gained seats in the Senate, but he lost the House of Representatives by quite a bit. This is spin. This poll right now is spin designed to try to deflate people from voting, designed to try to fire up people on another side to get them to vote. And history shows you that when America is unhappy with every single issue and the president, and they're all in the same party, that party's going to lose seats.
I'm surprised that it's only 55% of people disapproving.
It's probably more. It depends on how you ask the question, what the sample size is. The best they're going to do is 55% disapprove.
I mean, you got to think about it. He's a dumpster fire, falling off his bike, tripping upstairs, mumbling incoherent words, making up definition of words. Somebody just needs to give him a scoop of butter pecan and tuck him in under a weighted blanket, put Matlock on the TV, dim the lights.
Now, one thing I will tell people that they need to be aware of is there's two sets of elections coming up this fall. You've got U.S. House races and U.S. Senate races. U.S. House races are much harder for the jelly bean counters to creatively count the jelly beans in the favor of a party in question because they're based on congressional districts, right? And each, if you've got a district that has nothing to do in Michigan with Detroit, Michigan, well, the clerk, the head of elections there, cannot magically get creative with jelly bean counting after midnight. And if they stop the vote count in Detroit, it doesn't affect, and I'm just making up cities here, by the way, where there may have been creative jelly bean counting in 2020. They can't affect a congressional district that is not in Detroit. The problem is in the U.S. Senate race, it's just like a presidential race. It's a statewide race. So the jelly beans that get counted in Atlanta, Georgia, or Detroit, Michigan, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or fill in your favorite liberal stronghold will affect the statewide races. So, wow, isn't it amazing that the Democrats are feeling far more optimistic about the Senate than the House? Weird how that works out.
Yeah. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. It is 93 WIBC. Thanks for listening.
One of the best things that's happened here in Indy over the past year is the arrival of QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here. QC Kinetics is giving relief every day to folks here with chronic joint pain using the latest advances in regenerative medicine. They harness the power of your own body's healing properties, like in your blood or plasma, concentrate them, and apply to your affected joints. The results can be mind-blowing. These regenerative treatments are designed to repair and restore your damaged joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no side effects, no steroids, and no downtime. The success rate is incredible, and they're growing fast. They started with one medical clinic. Now they have clinics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and more on the way. Don't continue to live with that nagging joint pain. Discover the exciting all-natural advanced natural options that we have to access thanks to QC Kinetics. It's a free consultation. See what your options are. Call QC Kinetics now. 463-235-7160 in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. 463-235-7160. That's 463-235-7160.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news! We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We've been in the same location with the same phone number for 27 years. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what in the heck do you have to lose? Call me at 317-435-1718 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-435-1718 or rragency.org. Don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Kicking off week 1 with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Get started with $150 in free bets. That's guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code WIBC to get in on that action. Then you can turn game day into payday all season long. Play your way and bet on more than just the final score. Wager on everything from touchdowns to total yards to catches. You can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose with promo code WIBC. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus at present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Get out of Ukraine. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. That's the message the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv shared with American citizens. It cited the potential for Russian strikes against Ukrainian civilian infrastructure and government facilities in the coming days. Tomorrow marks 6 months since the start of Russia's invasion. Making the community safer. John Herrick reports on how leaders in Indianapolis believe they're doing that.
They recently converted Fort Wayne Avenue from a one-way street to a two-way. They plan on doing that with more streets in the future. Both the mayor and the Department of Public Works said two-way streets help make commutes safer for both the drivers and for people out walking, running, or riding their bikes. To see which streets will become two-way streets in the future, go to WIBC.com. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Podcaster Joe Rogan of the Joe Rogan Experience called out Hollywood on Friday for being anti-gun, yet glorifying guns in films. He said, "Isn't it wild that Hollywood in general is very anti-gun, but they promote guns more than any other media on the planet?" He went on to say how our priorities are a little out of step, and his guest was Tim Dillon. And Dillon responded by calling out wealthy Hollywood elites.
So Tim Dillon's a comedian, and we're going to play you a clip from this little back and forth here because I thought it was just great. But first, tomorrow's a big day for Kevin. Kevin has a concert tomorrow.
Uno Gold in concert?
Uno Gold has the concert tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you like to tell everyone where it's at?
Yeah, it's at Melody Inn. Doors will open at 7, show at 8.
And I'm pondering maybe venturing out to... Yeah. I will ask the boss permission and see if I have any household chores. That
you need to get the template done early.
Yeah,
so that I can go out and see him too.
I'm pondering. Would you go?
I would go if you get the template done at a reasonable hour.
Okay, all right. Well, so we'll.
It's a team process here.
We're going to try to make this work tomorrow to go see Kevin. So it's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Doors open at 7 and show starts at 8.
Okay,
it's at Melody Inn.
All right.
Now, if we show up, are you going to act like you don't know us?
No, I'll talk to you guys, and you know what? I get a discount on the beers.
Oh yeah,
band discount, so I can get you a couple brewskis.
Oh, I like it. So we're gonna try to go, and tomorrow I'm insisting that Kevin play Uno Gold bumper music
all day
as a part of the
Fantastic.
show. Let's try to get some people out to see Kevin play.
I love it.
Tomorrow night. All right. So anyway, that is apropos of nothing. I just wanted to announce that.
Very good.
So Tim Dillon's a comedian. He was on with Rogan on his most recent podcast, and I thought this was a phenomenal description of what's going on in this country, which is we are blessed with so many things in this country. And I'm not talking about people who are critical of our government. I'm not when I talk about what I'm about to talk about. I'm not talking about people who are critical of the government and saying we need to be more accountable, we need to be more efficient, we need to be better for the taxpayers. I'm talking about people who have all these blessings who genuinely hate America. And they have all of these luxuries and freedoms and liberties that still exist here, and the ability to do what they do, and the amazing things they have because people were willing to fight and die and stand up for those freedoms. And yet you would think that we are living like under, dictator rule, like you're a political prisoner in Iran. And yet that is just so disrespectful to the people who did all the stuff so that you could have this incredible life that you are in some ways taking advantage of, yet crapping all over. And so I thought this was just a really great little speech from Tim Dillon. Take a listen.
Now we're at war with each other. We should just be enjoying the spoils of the end of the empire. Truly. You should be enjoying it. So many people got killed, murdered, tortured, maimed for us to have all the nice things we have. Do you know how insane it is to not enjoy it? You know how crazy it is to not enjoy a McMansion, a flat screen TV, a McFlurry? You know how much blood is in the street for those things? And people act like they don't even matter. And they're fighting about all this bullshit. It's crazy. Anyway, that's the truth. That's the real truth. Nobody wants to hear it, but that is the truth. We have a lot of these things are nice, but some of them are ill-gotten gains. Fine. Not everybody picking tomatoes is happy about it, but have you ever had a nice Jersey thick beefsteak tomato? It's good. Imagine having one and then fighting with someone about something. It's stupid.
You can't hate everything.
Right. And again, there is a difference between saying, as we do every day on this show, where we point out areas in which the government is letting its citizens down. It's not being accountable. It's not being efficient. It's not. You can still, because I get this all the time from people. How do you love this country, profess to love this country so much, yet all you do, you do in the show, much of it is rip on the government. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the way our founders intended it to be, was the idea that the citizenry would be the ones to hold the government accountable was a vital part of the inception and the creation of this country. I love the ideals that America stands for or professes to stand for. I love the idea of America. And I don't want to speak for you, but where I get really disheartened and disappointed, and when I go off the rails or whatever you want to call it, is when the American system of governance is not living up to the ideals or holding itself accountable to the ideals that we are and what we are supposed to be about. Because we are blessed to have this opportunity, and on the regular, our government does not follow up on its end of the bargain with its people.
I came across this quote, and I absolutely love it. It's from John Cleese, but it's, American politics is a hysterical comedy with life-threatening consequences.
That's very good.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and let's change directions here. We need to talk about what's going on in Beech Grove. A teacher and coach with the Beech Grove schools has resigned after being arrested on drug charges. This was the basketball coach, Michael Renfro. The district said he turned in his resignation on August 16th, which was just about a week ago.
Yeah, and this is really unprecedented territory because, look, anytime a teacher makes the news or a coach makes the news for, being arrested in any fashion, it is big news, especially in one in which, the guy is charged with a DUI. He allegedly, had drugs on his possession, what he was doing with those still to be determined. But this is unprecedented territory because this guy had just won a state championship in basketball. Again, anytime it's a serious deal, but the fact that this guy had just won a state championship in basketball and then is arrested for allegedly such terrible decision-making and behavior, it really does gut a community.
Yeah, it feels like a betrayal.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal way to put it, Casey.
Yeah, and it's hard to get over something like that because especially when you thought you knew what someone stood for and then you find out another side of them, right. You feel betrayed because you bought into it.
Right. Part of being not a public employee, but part of being a leader of anything is you have more accountability to you than other people, or it should be. Whether it is a coach, not just because the guy won a state championship, but a coach in general, or a teacher is another one, or certainly an elected official. Part of that bargain is you are bestowed great responsibility, and it is an honor to serve your community. And as such, more is expected of you than the local townie that hangs outside the gas station. I don't think that's an unreasonable request.
I'm picking up on a thread here on today's show that I wasn't expecting. Yes. I didn't even notice it when we were putting the template together and going through everything. It's just about self-awareness and self-control.
Yes. And again, we talked about this many times. Part of when you become an elected person, and there's some people who need to hear this, who are still texting me, what a weirdo! Isn't that crazy? That lunatic Jim Lucas is still texting me.
You might need
someone in Seymour do a welfare check on this person.
Security.
I mean, I'm not worried here because we got the double pane bulletproof glass that even the rioters couldn't get through. So I think I'm okay here.
I just said self-control and self-awareness.
But part of it is, right? And it comes back to what we're talking about. In a position of power and of leadership, More is expected of you. And so whether that means you're not driving down the road drunk or having drugs in your car or putting Nazi quotes as your profile photo, if you don't want more responsibility, don't do the job.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Should we get to this other story that was published in The Lancet? Nearly 4.5 million cancer deaths every year are caused by external factors such as alcohol, smoking, or obesity. Here we go again with self-control.
Well, and this was interesting because much of what we learned very early on in COVID is it's a well-duh thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the people who have done better during COVID are the people who took better care of themselves, or people who did. Look, some people get cancer and every day take great care of themselves. Some people get, have heart attacks and do. I'm not talking about those people, but what I'm saying is the better care you take of your body, just like an automobile or anything else, the more effort you put into something, the better that thing is going to be long term. And in the case of the body, the more apt you are to live a healthy lifestyle and be able to fight things when it happened. But yet during COVID, for some reason, we acted like, well, the 36-year-old who is perfectly healthy with no history of illness, we're going to treat him or her exactly the same as the 82-year-old grandma who has diabetes. That doesn't make any sense. And yet during COVID, we threw all that out the window.
So experts reviewed the impact of occupational, environmental, and behavioral risk factors, and they said they were factors in 23 of the deadliest cancers around the world. For men, the most common cancers are colon and rectum cancer, esophageal cancer, and also stomach cancer. For women, it is cervical, colon, and breast cancer. And they found out that men were to have 4 times higher risk of losing years of their life to cancer due to lifestyle choices. And hey, we started the show earlier today talking about good news with prostate cancer, and just remind everybody to check yourself so you don't wreck yourself. It is 11:43. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. More fallout from Hamilton Southeastern, the police vote on no confidence, and the biggest stories of the day, 93 WIBC.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 38,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 3.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 3.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
There's only one company that meets the gold standard in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy. Hey, it's Rob, and I'm here with Darren Andrews. Darren, people are coming from all over the world to We Grow Hair Indy to grow their hair back.
Hey Rob, it's great to be here. Yes, they are. And Rob, as you well know, we are very proud of the technology and the results of We Grow Hair Indy. We Grow Hair Indy is one of only 2 places in the entire US that offers both the Artist Robotic FUE and our trademark procedure, multi-unit hair grafting.
We Grow Hair Indy filled in my crown area and restored the hair on the top of my head. Call 888-724-5129 for a free evaluation. That's 888-724-5129 and grow your hair back. The one company that has the best technology and results. WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard in hair restoration.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com. In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Have you ever thought about what you flush and how it affects your plumbing? I'm serious. My friend Larry at Whole Wall Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing told me their team of plumbers work on all kinds of stuff that gets flushed. Here's a little list. Chewing gum, don't flush it. Hair doesn't dissolve. Dental floss, not biodegradable. Q-tips, cotton balls clump together and they stop up your pumps. Tissues and paper towels, again, they don't dissolve. So what do you do if you have a stopped up toilet? Trust your flush to us. Whole Wall Heating and Air, 255-4328 or wholewallheatingandair.com.
Here's Terry Stacy to tell you what's going on with WIBC.
Make sure you follow WIBC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for your chance to win tickets, other prizes, and stay up to date on the most current news in Indy. Check out our website to see where the next Home and Garden Show on the road will be. Live every Saturday starting at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to tune in to Pat, Denny, and the gang on 93 WIBC.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Mortgage rates are down and home equity is up. If you've been thinking about a refinance, start online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
No football stadium is cheap, but some of the NFL stadiums cost billions to build. Somebody came up with a list of the most expensive NFL stadiums in the entire country, and guess what? Lucas Oil Stadium made the list.
Well, that's surprising.
Of expensive stadiums. It cost, $720 million to build at a capacity of 67,000 people. It ranks at number 8 on the most expensive stadium list.
Okay, so this is part of a broader conversation, and it should not be whether you like the Colts. It should not be whether you're a Colts fan. The broader conversation, and it's one we just had earlier in the show, in which Paul Pelosi, who is a gajillionaire, gets $1.2 million of a loan from the U.S. taxpayer and then gets it totally forgiven. Same thing for Tom Brady, Jay-Z, whatever. Should poor and middle-class people be funding the lifestyle of billionaires and millionaires? And the answer in this country keeps being yes. That we force regular people who struggle to pay their mortgage and put food on their table and clothes on their kids' backs every day, we force them to pay for toys for uber rich people and then sell it to you as though something noble has occurred here. Jim Irsay may be a super nice guy. I don't know. I've never met him. What I do know is that he's out spending millions of dollars on a belt from Muhammad Ali. So he has millions of dollars laying around to do things like that, but yet apparently has no money for his own stadium and needed poor and middle class people to build him a stadium that, when priced out for inflation, so I went on the little inflation calculator. By the way, do you realize that so Lucas Oil opened in 2008. So that's 14 years. That is not, gosh, back in the Roosevelt administration. George Bush was president when the stadium opened. The cumulative rate of inflation, this should scare the hell out of everyone, since 2008, 37.6%.
Wow.
This is what your government and the magical money printing factory has done, that your money that basically is worth only 2/3 of what it was. And again, this was just 14 years ago. That's not the fault of Jim Irsay. That's not the fault of local governments, whatever. That's the fault of the federal government. Different conversation. But I thought that was interesting. The value of Lucas Oil Stadium today, if you build it today, would be almost $1 billion. So the question is, should poor and middle class people, because when they built Lucas Oil Stadium, it was the creme de la creme. How many times a year do they use the retractable roof? Once or twice? Do you know what that cost added to Lucas Oil Stadium? It was a totally needless, what do they call it? Add-on that added nothing to whether the Colts can have an efficient, even if your argument was we must have an efficient and effective way for the Colts to play
so
to play
they can
football.
play in inclement weather.
It was extravagant. I'm sorry. Yes, that roof added gobs and gobs of money to the price of Lucas Oil Stadium that they use maybe once or twice a year. And how many? It seems like every year we go, why isn't the roof open today on a totally sunny day and it's not open? The point is, you a regular person, by force of your government, because it wasn't like Jim Irsay just waved him at. In a weird way, Jim Irsay is not the bad guy here. Because if somebody's going to give you $1 billion,
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you take it?
Yeah.
The bad guy here, and it came back to when we talked about Mitch Daniels yesterday, and we talked about before with Mitch. The legacy is the infallible Mitch Daniels, who everything he did was about limited, accountable government that was working for regular people. No.
Not true.
Mitch Daniels was the architect of the Lucas Oil Stadium deal, which added tax increases to every donut county in order to pay for Lucas Oil Stadium. Every donut county but one. And people pay on that forever and will pay on it forever and ever and ever and ever. And they opened Lucas Oil Stadium before they'd even paid off the Hoosier Dome.
Sidebar, a lot of people also really upset with Mitch Daniels for leasing the toll road in northern Indiana. But I'm going to a Colts game Saturday. I'll be very curious to see if the dome is open. I've only been to Lucas Oil one other time.
Yes.
So I bought tickets for the associate. It was a birthday present. But I'm going to keep track of every penny, Rob.
Yes.
To tell you how much it costs for parking and concessions, and then I'll add up those tickets as well and see what a night out for a family of four would cost to go to see the Colts play. And this is a preseason game. There's no big stakes on the line here.
Right. Well, and what'll be interesting too, it'll be very hard to do because there, hotel tax, part of this. Obviously, you're not staying at a hotel, but that's part of it. There was an increase in that. The ticket tax, there's been increases in that. That's part of it. I don't know if you can look at your ticket and see if it says tax on it anymore. The food you'll buy there, 2% of that was a tax increase. All of these tax increases on regular people went to pay for this thing. And it would be one thing if you say, well, every Colts fan will pay this ticket tax. I'm a Bears fan. I am forced to cheer for the Colts because there is an economic stake. But why should I, as a disinterested person, have to pay for something that I would never use? If you told me, Rob, unless you pay this tax, you can never go to a Colts game.
Okay.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Right.
It is a luxury item. It's one thing to say roads, bridges, sidewalks, water, sewer lines, infrastructure. Okay. Things everybody uses. Get it, got it, great. Let's have a conversation about the rate and what that should be. But when you force everyday people who are struggling to get by to fund now what now with inflation turns out to be $1 billion stadium and will be far more than that by the time the interest is paid on the deal, that is not right. That is happening in this country more and more and more and more. Whether it's PPP loans or building football stadiums for multi-billionaires, that should not be happening. That's crony capitalism.
I want to play something really quick. Can you get the Ron DeSantis thing, Kevin? Ron DeSantis released this yesterday. It's called Top Gov. It's a hype video. Let's check it out.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your governor speaking. Today's training evolution, dogfighting, taking on the corporate media. The rules of engagement are as follows. Number one, don't fire unless fired upon, but when they fire, you fire back with overwhelming force. Does it say that in the bill? I'm asking you to tell me what's in the bill. Number 2, never ever.
So he's dressed in his Top Gun gear, and it's a whole Top Gun spin. And I just quickly cringe factor, high or low with that. Do you want to see your governor dressed up like Tom Cruise?
No, I don't want to see my governor dressed up like anything.
All right. Thank you. Good job, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. Excellent. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Thank you for being here, and we're going to count on you to join us again tomorrow. It's 93 WIBC.
Did you know 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income? It's true. 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's all because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you could avoid this with a free, customized Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-972-9172. Don't lose tens of thousands of dollars in Social